Good afternoon from Jacksonville Municipal Stadium and you know where Georgia and Florida, just about 30 minutes from kicking this one off for the 85th time in the series. Along with Eric Zier, Neil Williamson, and Lauren Smith, this is Scott Howard. We've had rain off and on for most of the morning and part of the early afternoon, so the field is a bit damp, but the spirits are certainly not here on the banks of the St. Johns River. There's simply too much riding on the outcome of this one, where the winner today remains in the hunt for the division title. The loser will have 3 conference losses and will be freed up to join you on your New Year's Day party because they likely won't be in one of the primary bowl games. And then there's the case of this 15 out of 17 business, which Georgia would just as soon forget about, but the Gators won't let them. So how do the Bulldogs beat Florida for the second time in the 21st century? Well, we're going to find out right now as we bring in former Bulldog quarterback and our analyst today, Eric Zier, for Z's Keys to the Game, brought to you by your neighborhood Ford dealer. Eric.
Well, Scott, really when you look at the game today, there are 4 areas we have to play well in. The first is our defensive line has to dominate the game because of the spread offense that Florida runs and Tebow's ability to run the football. They have an extra blocker everywhere. We have to be able to shed blockers on the defensive line and then make plays with that group. In addition to that, we can't allow the big play in the passing game coming from Florida. They've been able to get on top of people all year long. We can't allow that to happen. We need to make Tebow run that football a lot and then punish him when he does. On the offensive side of the ball, we have to win the time of possession game, control the clock by running the football in a short, controlled passing game, keep the ball in our hands, don't give it back to Florida. And finally, we have to win in special teams. You have 3 facets of every game, offense, defense, and special teams. We have to win one of the 2, offense and defense, and then we have to win the special games with a couple of big plays. And Florida's been very good on special teams this year, so it's going to be a big challenge for us, but we have to find success there.
Yeah, 2 electrifying returners in the game today. Mikey Henderson back for Georgia after missing Vanderbilt with a hamstring problem, and, of course, Brandon James for the Florida Gators. So it's Georgia and Florida. We're counting it down to kickoff. When we come back, I'll talk with Pat Dooley of the Gainesville Sun, and that is next here on the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network.
You're less than 30 minutes away from kickoff. The pregame show is brought to you by the Georgia Lottery, providing more than $9 billion to Georgia education. The new AT&T, your world delivered. And by Sherwin-Williams. Ask how, ask now, ask Sherwin-Williams.
Scott Howard back with you here at Jacksonville Municipal Stadium. We're less than 28 minutes from kicking it off for Georgia and Florida. We're with Pat Dooley of the Gainesville Sun. This segment brought to you by the new AT&T. And, Pat, first of all, Larry sends his best.
Well, my best to Larry. It's I don't know if they're allowed to play the game without him here.
It seems weird, doesn't it?
It does. And Tony Barnhart's not here either, so that's a double dose.
Well, let's all just pack up and go home.
I know, but you got Eric Zier here. Although I got to think when he woke up this morning and saw the rain, it brought back some memories of the '93 game, which was the quagmire.
We were talking about that on the way to the stadium today, and certainly that one, as you said, when it rains, that's what a lot of Georgia people think about. They immediately go back to that '93 game, and what a terrific game it was. It didn't turn out in Georgia's favor, but what a great ball game.
And he was unbelievable. In fact, I have a book out now called Game of My Life, and it's 31 Florida players, their favorite game. And Judd Davis's chapter was that game because he kicked 4 field goals in that mess. And he said that every time he went down and got one, he had to do it like a wedge and go down and get underneath it and splattered his holder's face every time he kicked it. But, and he even said Eric Zier deserved a better fate that day than what happened to him. He played an unbelievable game.
Well, how many kicks are we going to see today? Florida doesn't kick a whole lot. Georgia has Brandon Kocho, who is very good and kicks a few more field goals, but I would think both of these teams would probably shy away from that today. That's based on the matchup.
Yeah, I mean, you could see a shootout. We've kind of looked at a lot of these games as potential shootouts. Tennessee, certainly the potential was there, but Tennessee didn't show up offensively. Florida did a good job. It was probably their best defensive game of the year. And then Kentucky last week turned into a shootout. Florida's defense isn't great, but they are decent in the red zone. So there is a chance you're going to see a little bit of that bending and then stopping them and forcing them to settle for a field goal. I think a lot depends on what Mark Richt and Mike Bobo do with their game plan. They've tended to be, I know this was Richt's offense the last few years, but they've tended to be a little conservative in this game. And I'll be interested to see if they try to spread out. The other thing is, as you can see watching Florida go through defensive drills down there, they're going to play 2 safeties deep much of the game. Their whole goal is not to let anything get past them. So that's what's there, is the underneath stuff, and we'll see if Georgia takes that.
Talking with Pat Dooley of the Gainesville Sun. Pat, you've seen Florida play all season. Has anybody been able to stifle Percy Harvin at all?
Well, the only person that's been able to stifle him probably is Dan Mullen when he hasn't gotten the ball enough. There have been times when he just didn't get it enough, but he's pretty good. The thing about Percy Harvin is he'll run and you'll watch the player and you go, well, that was about a 3-yard gain. You go, wait a minute, it's 7. He just has a way of getting the most out of every run, and he's a really special athlete. He reminds me a lot of Wes Chandler, and that they have to figure out ways to get him the ball because they want the ball in his hands a lot. But he's a much better receiver. Last year he wasn't that good a receiver, to be honest with you. He dropped a lot of passes. This year he's a very good receiver. So many weapons on offense. I mean, it doesn't stop at Tebow and Harvin. You've got Ingram and you've got Caldwell and you've got Faison, and I mean on and on and on. Yeah, that's what they're trying to build at Florida under Urban Meyer, is a team where you have a lot of weapons to go to. And his first year he didn't have any. He had 3 and 2 of them got hurt. Last year they had a few more. This year they've increased it a little bit. So yeah, they've got a lot of different ways to come at you. The problem that sometimes happens is and this is what Auburn did. It's how Auburn beat them. They kept their offense off the field so that when the offense got on the field, you felt this panic situation as a coach of, I got to get the ball to Harvin, I got to get the ball to Ingram, I got to get the ball. And I think it screws you up when you don't have a lot of possessions. And I'm sure that Georgia understands that. I'm sure they know that that's the way to beat Florida. Keep them off the field and take the under stuff, because they're not going to play press coverage. They're not good enough at the corners. And, you try to win a game 21-17 is the best way to beat Florida. Can Georgia run the football on Florida today? Well, the interesting thing about Florida is their defensive line is a weird situation. Their 2 starting tackles are really good against the run and cannot rush the passer. They've got some young kids they bring in who can rush the passer but cannot stop the run. And what Kentucky did last week is when Torrey Davis, some of those guys were in the game, they trapped them all day, and they trapped them every time. So I think you may see, because I think they know that Georgia wants to run with no Sean Moreno, that I think you'll see Florida stick with it, stopping and McMillan, and because they know how to stay in their gaps, they're good at stopping the run. You may see them stay in the game a lot more. Pat, thanks for your visit and thanks for your time. We appreciate it. Say hey to Larry. I miss the guy. We all do. Pat Dooley of the Gainesville Sun. Coming up, Lauren Smith will talk with Coach Mark Richt, and Neil Williamson will take a look around the SEC as the pregame show continues right here on the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network.
This is Lauren Smith with Coach Mark Richt. This segment of our show is brought to you by Geico. Coach, the Jaguars play on this field. It gets a lot of traffic. How good a shape is the field for today's game?
Oh, it's in good shape. A little shade of green paint, a little sand. It looks great.
You feel like the footing will be good?
It's going to be the same for us and Florida, so it doesn't really matter.
Coach, rain may be forecast later in the game. Good news or bad news for your team?
I don't know. At least we did practice in rain. One day, just about the whole practice was raining on us pretty good, so it won't be the first time this week we've had to deal with it.
All right, thank you, Coach Mark Richt, and we go back upstairs for this break on the Georgia Bulldog Radio Network.
If you missed that big fumble recovery or maybe that jitterbug touchdown run into the end zone, don't worry. You can catch up Mondays at 9 and noon. That's 9 p.m. and noon when CSS rebroadcasts today's game. Be sure to tune in and watch the rebroadcast of Georgia football on CSS Mondays at noon and 9 p.m. Time now for an SEC update. This segment is presented by the IBEW Local 613. They're in the fourth quarter in Lexington, under 9 minutes to play. Mississippi State has the ball and the lead. Well, they just scored again, another touchdown as we speak. Mississippi State, awaiting the outcome of the extra point, now leads Kentucky 30-14. 14th ranked Wildcats are in danger of losing their third game in their last 4 outings. Meanwhile, the Maroon Bulldogs would improve to 5-4 if they can hang on. In Nashville, Vanderbilt is playing Miami, Ohio, and the Red Hawks, have taken a 10-7 lead there in the second quarter against Vandy. Today at 6, 2-6 Ole Miss plays 23rd ranked Auburn. Meanwhile, also in progress, Arkansas looks to improve to 5-3 overall. The Razorbacks are leading Florida International 24-7 there in the second quarter. Today at 6, we mentioned Auburn against Ole Miss, and tonight at 7:45 on the banks of the Tennessee River, the Volunteers will host number 15, South Carolina. Winner gets a huge advantage in the SEC race. Loser will find it not impossible, but awfully tough to get to Atlanta for the championship game. Number 3, LSU. Number 22, Alabama. Both off this week. They'll clash next Saturday in Bryant-Denny Stadium. That's your SEC update. Still to come, we'll update scores from around the nation. We'll have starting lineups for you. And then Scott Howard and Eric Zier with today's play-by-play. Georgia and Florida in SEC action coming up on the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network. Hondo, Scott, Eric, and Tony up here in the booth, and Lauren's down on the field. Thanks for joining us. Georgia and Florida coming up in about 13 minutes. After the Dogs win today, demand's going to be sky high for tickets for the rest of the season. But we've got them for you. If you don't have them, go to WSBRadio.com to register to start winning tickets this week for the final 4 games of the regular season. Troy, Auburn, Georgia Tech, Kentucky. You can win them all. WSBRadio.com. Look on the left-hand column for Bulldogs and sign up today. Time now to take a look at some scores from around the nation in the top 25. No surprises yet, except for that Kentucky score that we gave you a few minutes ago. Number 6, West Virginia leads 25th-ranked Rutgers 31-3. They're in the 4th. In the second quarter, 13th-rated Missouri leads Iowa State 17-7. If you're just joining us, Mississippi State has a 31-14 lead on 14th-ranked Kentucky. They are late, or midway rather, through the fourth quarter. Other scores of interest, couple of finals. Illinois held off Ball State today 28-17, and Wake Forest pounded North Carolina 37-10. Fourth quarter score, Colorado leads Texas Tech 31-19. Purdue leads Northwestern 28-17. Louisville leads Pittsburgh 24-17, and Wisconsin leads Indiana 27-3. Those are all in the fourth quarter. They've gone to overtime in Iowa, and Michigan State and the Hawkeyes are tied at 20 apiece. Georgia Southern has rallied. They've trailed almost all game, and now Georgia Southern, the Eagles, lead the Citadel 21-17 there in the fourth. We'll come back and have starting lineups for you soon. Then kickoff between Georgia and Florida from Jacksonville. The rain is cleared out for now. This is the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network.
The Bulldogs are on the air. You're listening to University of Georgia football on the Georgia Bulldog Radio Network. Brought to you by AirTran Airways. Go, there's nothing stopping you. Dodge, live strong, live bold, live now. Grab life. Red Baron Pizza, official pizza of the Georgia Bulldogs. AT&T, the new leader in wireless. Bud Light, refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Renai, the hot way to heat water. And by Georgian Bank. Dream big. We do.
Honda with you back in Jacksonville, where it's going to be the Dogs and the Gators in just under 10 minutes. The temperature right now is 71 degrees. We have 75% humidity, a light wind, and we're getting ready for maybe having some thunder showers and even lightning when we get into midway into the second quarter. Hopefully that will hold off. Game conditions brought to you by Renai Tankless Water Heaters. Coming up, I'll have starting lineups. That's around the corner on the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network. Time now for our starting lineups brought to you by your Southeast Toyota dealers. Hey, folks, perhaps the two most important guys on defense for Georgia today are both Florida natives. That's Geno Atkins from Pembroke Pines, Florida, and Jeff Owens from Sunrise, Florida. They're going to be starting in the middle of the defensive line. They're your two tackles, and they're the two guys who are going to try to shed the blocks and get to Tim Tebow. At the ends, it'll be Rod Battle and Marcus Howard. The linebackers are Brandon Miller. He's the Sam linebacker. Marcus Washington back from his injury. Blake Miller, he's going to be playing the Mike linebacker spot. And Dan Ellerby moves over to the Will Weakside linebacker position. Asher Allen is one corner. He's from Tucker, Georgia. Prince Miller from Duncan, South Carolina will play the other corner. Our free safety is C.J. Bird from North Augusta, South Carolina. And our strong safety is from right down the road here in Daytona Beach. That's number 30. Keelan Johnson. One note for you on defense, Thomas Flowers, when he comes into the game, will be wearing number 6 today. That's in honor of Craig Lumpkin is what we're assuming. So Thomas Flowers, who normally has number 29, will be wearing number 6 for the Bulldogs. Don't get fooled when you're watching on TV with the sound turned down. Georgia's offense across the offensive line, it's Trenton Sturdivant at left tackle. You've got Chris Davis at left guard. Bubba Velasco is at center. Right guard is Clint Bowling, and right tackle is Chester the Big Cheese Adams. Our receivers are Sean Bailey and Muhammad Massaquah. Trip Chandler from Woodstock, Georgia starts at tight end. Matthew Stafford is the quarterback. Noshawn Moreno the tail. And Brandon Sutherland out of Decula, Georgia will be our starting fullback. Those are your starting lineups. Kickoff is next with Scott Howard on the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network.
Just a shade more than 3 minutes before kicking it off. Georgia and Florida here in Jacksonville. Today's broadcast presented by the authority of the University of Georgia Athletic Association, Incorporated, and may not be rebroadcast in any form without express written consent of the University of Georgia Athletic Association. Also today, Lawrence Smith will be joining us as always throughout the game with his Cook's Pest Control sideline reports. Right now, the captains are meeting at the middle of the field for the toss of the coin. Keelan Johnson, Fernando Velasco, Jeffrey Owens, and Chris Gonder are the captains for Georgia today. And Gonder is certainly a great story, a former walk-on, now on scholarship, majoring in, Eric, you and I can appreciate this, cellular biology. And he's been accepted to med school in Mercer. That's way beyond us.
Yes,
or at least me, anyway.
Well, no, you can include me in that as well.
Georgia will be in their road white uniforms today, so the Bulldogs are technically the visiting team, and the Gators are in their home blue with white pants and the orange helmets, and Georgia in the white tops and silver pants and the red helmets. Our referee today is Penn Wagers. Florida has won the toss and will receive, so Georgia will be on defense to get this one started, and right out of the chute we'll see Tim Tebow and company, Z, and this should be a lot of fun today.
Well, it really is. You know, you take a look at this stadium right now. There's not a better sight in all of college football. Half the stadium has the red and black of the Bulldog Nation. The other half has the blue and orange here of the Gator Nation. You can feel the tension and the hatred already, starting to brew between these two teams. This first drive is going to be hugely important for the Georgia Bulldogs to see how we're going to handle this offense led by Tim Tebow. How are we going to stop him? We have to get off to a quick start here and give our guys, give our fans a little bit of confidence that we can stop what's been done here the past 17 years.
Weather-wise, we've got a pretty good day. If you're a player, you're loving this day. You got a lot of cloud cover. It's not real warm. It is just a shade of humidity, and you've got a breeze blowing. So from a player's perspective, Eric, I mean, this got to be perfect weather.
It really is. This is these are the kind of days that you dream about. You're not blinded by the sun. You've got it's not too hot, not too cold. It's just a day to go out there and play some football, and our guys will be ready. The Gators are ready. It's going to be a great matchup today.
You were down on the field earlier during the tailgate show. Field conditions, you said, between the hashes are a little iffy?
Between the hashes, it is iffy. It's pretty sparse between the hashes, pretty beat up. They've got a nice layer of green paint that's covering between the hashes there that makes it look nice from up here, but once you get down there, between the hashes is chopped up. Once you get outside the hashes, it's not that bad.
The 75th SEC logo, the 75th anniversary SEC logo in the middle of the field. The Florida end zone is to our right with Florida written through it and Georgia to the left. And just beyond the way, across the way, the Jacksonville Bridges and the St. Johns River as we get ready to kick it off here momentarily. Florida will be receiving and going on offense. And a chance to see that Gator offense, which has racked up some points this year, over 40 points a ball game. So they have been hitting on all cylinders.
They really have. And when you look at this offense, because Tim Tebow was such such a good runner of the football. They have extra blockers all the time unless you want to go cover zero defensively, which means you don't have a safety in the back. You're manned up all the way with no help anywhere. People really aren't going to do that because of the speed of the Gator receivers. So ultimately what that translates into is the Gators always have a man blocking on a man, which frees things up for Tim Tebow, which makes him difficult to stop.
Both special teams units for Georgia and Florida trying to get their fans pumped up as they dance to the music here at Jacksonville Municipal Stadium. And get it ready. Georgia pleading in their section of red, which is straight across from where we're sitting here in the press box. And the Florida fans are on the near side of the stadium as Keyston Moore and Brandon James are back deep for Florida. James, the key return man there, and he is a good one. Make no doubt about it. Second in the league in kickoff returns. He had a long of 61 yards last week against Kentucky. Georgia kicking from right to left with Brandon Kocho. He sticks his foot into it, and we are underway as he positions it to the near side of the field, taken on the 11 by James. He's up quickly to the 20, to the 25, and out of bounds on the near sideline at the 27-yard line. Knocked out of bounds by Akeem Dent, the redshirt freshman linebacker from Atlanta. So the Gators will go on offense to get this one started. 1st and 10 from just across their 28-yard line. As we check the AJC scoreboard, West Virginia throttles Rutgers 31-3. That's a final. Louisville beats Pittsburgh 24-17. Again, that is a final as well.
We've got a couple things we want to look for right here. We mentioned it before the game. Can our defensive line win? Can we shed blocks and make plays? And what are we going to do defensively to keep them from getting behind us with the passing game?
They break Moore, the running back, out all the way to the far side of the field. Tebow in the shotgun. Gators work from left to right from their own 28. Snap to Tebow. Stands in the pocket. Pressure. Georgia's going to wrap him up at the 20-yard line. Sack number 1 on the first play. Keelan Johnson shot in, and Marcus Howard helped him out. They wrapped up Tebow. A rare sight for the Gators sophomore quarterback to be dropped for a sack.
Well, let me tell you, we came out right out of the gates and got aggressive. We did go cover zero. Blitzing Keelan Johnson off the slot receiver, manned up across the board, which is exactly what we want to do if we want to get pressure on him.
Loss of 8 yards on the play, maybe a smidge more than that. Drops it back inside the 20-yard line. Moore in the backfield this time for the Gators. Florida lines up in the shotgun, and now Tebow will walk towards the near sideline and ask for a timeout.
First timeout of the half.
That gets the Georgia crowd all riled up here as we are just a shade more than 40 seconds into this ball game. A sack and now a timeout for Florida, so we'll take it along with them. Timeout on the field. We're scoreless, just underway in Jacksonville. Pause for these words on the Georgia Bulldogs radio network. Florida burns its first timeout of the ball game. 46 seconds in. Georgia in a nickel package on defense with Thomas Flowers wearing Craig Lumpkin's number 6 today. Gators from left to right, back just inside the 20-yard line. It's going to be 2nd down and 19 to go. Tebow's in the shotgun, 3 receivers to the left, and 1 in tight on the right side, and Keyston Moore is the lone setback. Tebow looks over the Georgia defense. 3 down linemen for Georgia. Now they'll walk Ellerby up on the line of scrimmage as well. Man goes in motion to the near side. That's the back Moore. Tebow takes the snap. He's got pressure. Throws it to the far side of the field. It is complete to Murphy up at the 24-yard line is where the tackle is made by the linebacker Dannell Ellerby. A gain of about 4 on the play, and that'll bring up 3rd down and still extra long for Florida.
It's got a great tackle there by Ellerby, shedding the block and making the play. Once again, out of this nickel package, we're bringing safety, so we're bringing a lot of pressure from the secondary. Keelan Johnson has come again. We're mixing up some looks there before the snap, trying to confuse this Florida offense.
Gators stay in the shotgun. Murphy and Caldwell into the game at receiver. 3 breaking out right and 1 to the left, and Moore's in the backfield. Shotgun snap to Tebow. He stands on the far hash. He looks. Now he rolls to the far side, and he throws, and it is caught right at the 1st down marker. Complete at the 39-yard line to Caldwell. Andre Caldwell making the catch at the 39. just picking up the first down. Keelan Johnson making the tackle as the Gators are able to move the sticks in 3rd and long.
Well, they were in the Georgia defense there for the first time, drop back into a cover 2. Pretty good coverage there. Good job by Tebow moving around and finding his receiver.
Gators stay in the shotgun. 3 down linemen for Georgia. Left to right, the Gators move. Shotgun snap. They throw it a little receiver screen to Harvin. Complete on the near side at the 41. Harvin stumbles his way up across the 45 to the 47-yard line. And Marcus Washington, Georgia's middle linebacker, making the stop at the Gator 47. So they gain about 8 on the play. It's 2nd down and 2 yards to go for Florida.
And so far, this Florida offense not really utilizing Tebow running the football. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. But right now, they've come out, a lot of different formations, and attacking down the field with the passing game.
Caldwell breaks out left, and Harvin and Murphy to the right side. 2 backs in the backfield. They stay in the shotgun. And here comes motion, and they hand it off to Moore straight ahead. The running back takes it. He gets up near the 50, and he is shoved back to about the 46-yard line, but they'll spot his forward progress up at the 50. Marcus Washington and the safety Rashad Jones making the hit for Georgia. Gators get another first down, however. 1st and 10 at midfield. The front edge of the ball right on the 50-yard line. No score, 12:06 to go here early in the first quarter. Gators in the shotgun, 2 receivers left and 1 to the right. Tebow looks to the near sideline for the play. Harvin and Murphy break out to the far side for Florida. Moore, the back, slides over a little bit to the right, now takes the handoff, goes straight ahead, a little bit of a hole into Georgia territory, down to the 44 quickly. Ellerby making the stop on Keyston Moore as he gets down to the Georgia 43-yard line. So Gators on the move now after a opening play sack by Georgia's defense forced Florida back just inside their own 20. They've moved all the way down to the Georgia 43-yard line. 2nd down, 3 yards to go for the Gators as they move from left to right. Harvin and Caldwell on the near side for Florida, and Murphy breaks out to the left. Stay in the shotgun. Tebow takes the snap, hands it off straight ahead to Moore. Moore losing the ball. It's picked up by Georgia. Asher Allen's got it. Asher Allen at midfield to the 40, to the 30, down the far sideline and out of bounds. Georgia recovered the fumble, picked it up and took off running. Asher Allen deep in Florida territory down the far sideline.
Boy, what a big play there for the Georgia defense. Got every single person in red and black right now up on their feet going crazy. Picks up that fumble and just takes off down the sideline. Very close there to breaking that all the way and going for 6.
They're going to bring it back a little bit to spot it at the, looks like around the Florida 40-yard line. They're saying that's where Asher stepped out of bounds. But it is Georgia football. A sack and a turnover here in the first 4 minutes and change. That's not too shabby for the Georgia defense.
Well, if you're the Georgia defense, you know the Florida offense is going to move the football. You have to be aggressive. Continue coming after them. Good tackles. Be solid and fundamental with everything that you're doing, and create turnovers, create mistakes, which is exactly what we did.
Now time has been called here at Jacksonville Municipal Stadium. 10:54 to go, first quarter, no score. Georgia with the ball when we come back. Let's pause now for these words on the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network. Georgia, after the fumble recovery, lines up on the Florida 40-yard line from right to left. We will move. Marino, the tailback. The Dogs under center. They flip-flop the tight end Chandler to the right side. Jason Johnson is on the near side. Now he goes in motion. Toss sweep to Marino. Coming this way. Marino to the 40, to the 35. Lowers his head. Makes contact with the Gators. Kyle Jackson and bowls him over and picks up yardage down to the 33-yard line. A 7-yard gain for Noshawn Marino. I like the way he lowered his head and just took on the hit.
Well, he initiated that hit. There's no question about it. He was running downhill, lowered his shoulder, ran right over the Florida defensive back.
I formation for Georgia. They're on the Gator 33. It's 2nd down and 3 yards to go. Another toss sweep to the near side. Marino tripped up at the 30-yard line as he tried to get to the corner. It will be near a first down, maybe a little bit shy of it, as Sturdivant and Sutherland were leading the blocks there. McMillan and Jones tripping up Noshawn Marino for the Gators as they made the tackle. I think he's going to be just shy of the first down. They spot the ball right on the Florida 30. So it will be 3rd down and inches for Georgia as Bailey and Massaquoi check out of the ball game.
In this Gator defense, first couple of plays here, they've put 8 in the box, have gone man-to-man. Last play, they pressed both of our receivers. Again, we want to keep the ball, establish a running game, and keep the ball out of that Florida offense's hands.
2 tight ends in the game. Figgins, one of them. He goes in motion, slides behind the line of scrimmage. We hand it off to Sutherland. Sutherland on second effort on the near side, jumps across the 30 and dives for the first down up at the 29. Not a lot of running room right on the line of scrimmage, but he kept sliding down the line of scrimmage until he was able to pick it up at the 29, maybe even a little bit inside of that, the Gator 28-yard line.
Yeah, good leg drive, good balance there by Sutherland, taking on that initial hit and popping that outside, getting the first down. Huge first down. If we can do that all game long, control the clock, we're going to be in pretty good shape.
Massaquoi to the right, Bailey to the left. Dogs stay in the eye with Marino dotting the eye at tailback, Sutherland the fullback, and Stafford is under center. Going to give it to Marino. He spins at the 29, runs straight ahead up to the 20-yard line as Marino picked up about 8.5 yards on that carry, running straight ahead. He was spinning as he was going and brought down at the 20-yard line by the linebacker, A.J. Jones, the redshirt freshman from Tampa, Florida.
In the second half of the Vandy game, the Georgia offense really started to establish itself on the ground with Moreno running the football, picking up right where we left off against Vandy and running this football right at the Gator defense.
Tony Wilson, Massaquoi to the right, and Sean Bailey to the left. The lone setback is Marino. Passing formation for the first time, but the Dogs will run with Noshawn straight ahead just inside the left hash, and Marino hits the hole hard and gains about 3 yards on the play, close to the Florida 17-yard line. Dogs trying to take advantage of a Florida turnover recovered by Asher Allen. That time McMillan and Cunningham, a couple of Gator defensive linemen stopping Marino as Georgia picks up a first down on the play. 1st and 10, Georgia from the Florida 17 as the Dogs move it from right to left. I formation this time. We flip-flop Chandler, the tight end, from right to left. Massaquoi on the near side and Bailey on the far side. Under center is Stafford. Takes the snap, hands it off to Noshawn. A hole at the 15, the 10, the 5, and tripped up at the 4-yard line. Noshawn Marino again hitting the hole ultra quick and just burst for 10 yards or more down inside the Florida 5-yard line.
And that Georgia offensive line there opened up a huge hole for Moreno to run through. Wasn't touched at all getting through the line of scrimmage. Great push by that entire offensive line, specifically Sturdivant, Sutherland with a good block. Davis, again, good job opening up some holes there for Moreno.
Spot the ball inside the Gator 4-yard line. 1st and goal, call it the 3.5. We go in a power formation, 2 tight ends. Stafford going to hand it to Noshawn. Noshawn to the left, off the left tackle, not a lot there. Stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. May have gained about 6 inches or so on that. They probably will spot it at around the 4-yard line, maybe a shade or 2 inside of that, but not a lot of running room on the short side of the field. Stamper and Cunningham, defensive end and a linebacker for Florida, making the stop. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 3-yard line. 6:59, clock ticking. We're scoreless, quarter number 1. Georgia trying to cash in on a Gator turnover. Sean Chappis is in the ball game. He lines up on the right side just behind the tight end, now comes in motion. I formation, we pitch it to Noshawn. Noshawn to the 5, cuts up and tackled at the 1.5 yard line. Couldn't quite get to the goal line. He was running to the near side, then saw a gap and jumped right in there in a hurry, and they spot it just inside the 2. It's going to be 3rd and goal from right there inside the 2-yard line. Linebacker Brandon Spikes wrapping up Marino on that play.
Well, Moreno there had Davis and Sutherland out leading the way. Pretty good play there by the Florida defense, getting it up, making Marino cut it back, only for a couple-yard pick up there for Noshawn.
They'll stay in the eye. Chappis and Sutherland in the ball game. Chappis goes in motion, hand it to Noshawn. He dives, stretches out, touchdown!
And look at the entire
Holy
Georgia
smokes.
offense coming off.
That's the whole team.
The whole team is on the field right now.
What the heck is that? That's a flag. What are we doing?
They're throwing a flag, and I don't think anybody cares right now.
Oh, my goodness.
The entire coaching staff is looking right now at the Georgia fans, getting them up on their feet. I have never seen that before.
That is unbelievable. Marino scored, and the entire team ran off the bench and celebrated in the end zone. That's shocking.
Well, let me tell you, I've got goosebumps over my entire body right now. I hope we do that every time we punch it in the end zone.
It took a while for the officials to throw the flags. I don't think they could believe what they were seeing, but we'll pay the 15-yard penalty for that to try to get the early momentum, as Brandon Kocho is now trying to fire up the crowd. Georgia waiting to kick the extra point. The officials are talking with Urban Meyer. And the play is being reviewed to see if, in fact, Marino did break the plane with the football as he went straight ahead, diving over the top, stretching the ball out as far as his arms would reach.
Well, let me tell you, Scott, we came in here looking for a fight, and we just encouraged one with running the entire team out on the field.
Wow. I have never seen that. That is unbelievable.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Well, that'll jack him up a
We
little
will
bit
now
more.
discuss the penalty enforcement.
Well, I guess they have some options now on the 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty. Penn Wagers is the referee, and they call the penalty, but his mic's not working. How many penalties did he call against us? It looked like he gave two signs. He gave two unsportsmanlike. It did appear. So is that going to be two 15-yard penalties? We didn't get an explanation from our referee. Maybe he'll explain it. Here he comes. Now he's going to tell us.
After the play is over, unsportsmanlike on the Georgia bench coming on the football field. That penalty will go to the kickoff. Also, the dead ball, unsportsmanlike on number 75 on Georgia, will also be on the kickoff. There will be a 30-yard penalty for the kickoff. Try down.
Well, I mean, you're kicking off from the goal line then. If you impose two 15-yard penalties.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how we're going to do that. But that was something that looked almost pre-planned by the Georgia football team, obviously, to get them out there on the field and get going. And they are well worth it. The Gator fans right now.
Kocho with the point after splits the pipes. That's 7-0. Now, that really challenges Georgia's defense now, because Florida's going to have good field position, but Georgia willing to pay the price. They score first. Dogs 7, Gators nothing. 6 minutes to go, quarter number 1. Timeout. Let's pause for these words on the Georgia Bulldogs radio network.
Meet Jim. Normally shy, quiet, and reserved, Jim has changed thanks to his new 3G AT&T phone. It's taken his love of UGA football to a whole new level. Because now Jim can get UGA ring.
7-0, Dogs leading the Gators here in the first quarter. Let's go down to the sidelines and Lauren Smith for this Cook's Pest Control sideline report. Lauren, were you out there on the field too?
I was not out there, but Coach Rick told him in the locker room today, go out, have fun, and he said, I want to see some celebrating. I don't know if he wanted them to take the field as they did, but, that was an interesting series. First of all, bend but don't break. The defense got to Georgia on the field. And then once they set up at the 40-yard line, Eric, he ran to the weak side every snap. He must see something over there on Florida's defense. And it was a great job by Noshan Marino. If he gets the ball 25 or 30 times today and runs like that, then I think things look good for Georgia, because it'll be a little scoring on our part, and maybe Tebow will be on the sideline.
Lauren, you're exactly right. We took the ball and just ran it to the left the predominant amount of times, and great job there by the Georgia offensive line. And if we can do that all game, control the clock, we're really going to put ourselves in a good position.
Well, Florida's going to be in a good position here with we're going to be kicking off from the 7.5-yard line. And Brandon James will be standing at his 30 for Florida. He's one of the best return men around. So, again, you just put a lot of pressure on your defense here early in the ball game to get it done for a second time. Florida turned it over on their first series. Georgia went 40 yards in 9 plays. Noshan Marino, 1-yard touchdown dive. He carried the ball 8 of those 9 plays. So, as Lauren was alluding to, if Noshan can get the ball 25 times, he doesn't have a long way to go. He's already carried it 8.
Well, he has. You know, we're obviously putting ourselves in a pretty bad position here, but what we've done to create the excitement, to get our team into it, has been very good. But make no mistake, in that timeout break, the Florida team gathered together, and we now have a war in our hands.
Kick by Kocho as the Dogs break the huddle and run and kick it. It bounces on the Florida 38. It is picked up by Rutledge, and he turns around and returns it to the Florida 48-yard line. And here comes another flag. A flag coming from one of the officials running in from the far side. He tossed it. It's right on the 50-yard line. They spot the ball on the Florida 48-yard line. In the league, or excuse me, second most behind LSU, and they just drew a personal foul penalty as our official just gave us the initial indication.
Play is over. Personal foul. 43 on the receiving team, penalty 15 yards. First down.
Well, that works out perfectly now because the ball's about where it would be normally if you'd kicked off from the 30. Florida just really cost themselves with the 15-yard penalty, ball back on the 33-yard line.
And it's going to be interesting to see now if our defense can feed off of all the emotion that you feel right now in the stadium. Typically when emotions get high, it works right in the hands of the defense, and they play with a lot of fire and a lot of attitude.
Shotgun formation, they hand it to Harvin in the backfield. He's running far side, gets by Battle, up to the 35 to the 40, tripped up, now comes this way, still on his feet, and is tackled at around the 44-yard line. After a long run as Harvin lined up in the backfield just to the right of Tebow and took it and started running to the left and tried to find the corner. He got up to the 43-yard line before he was brought down right there as we pause for station identification on the Georgia Bulldogs radio network. Florida football, 1st and 10 on their own 43-yard line. Shotgun snap to Tebow. They run the option. Pitch it to Harvin, coming this way. Harvin 45-50, 45-40, and tripped up right there as he picks up about 17 yards on the play. Did he spike the ball?
Well, he did spike the ball. I can't believe they don't throw a flag there if we delay a game, unsportsmanlike kind of, because he spiked the ball after he fell down.
Well, he got a warning, I guess. The officials immediately talked to him, but they don't throw the flag. But Harvin all the way up to the Georgia 40-yard line, so a quick burst and a large gain for the Gators as they move into Georgia territory. It's 1st and 10. Georgia leading it 7-0 here, under 5 minutes to go in quarter number 1.
Pretty good pursuit there by the Georgia defense. Percy Harvin can absolutely fly. He's a threat every time he touches the football.
2 receivers left and 1 to the right. Tebow in the shotgun, stands in the pocket, going for it all far side, hangs it up, and it is caught, and a touchdown in the far corner to Murphy. Lewis Murphy, a 6'2 junior from St. Petersburg, Florida, scored right in front of the pylon as he beat our man, I think it was our safety on the far side, Rashad Jones. And Florida is an extra point away from tying it up. That's how fast it can happen.
And Florida's been doing that to people all year long. You have to respect this running game of the Florida Gators. And that little play action is not even a play action to himself. Back to Tebow, where he fakes that run and stands up and throws the football. It is very, very difficult to defend, and they've been doing it all year long.
Got a flag on the extra point attempt as both teams were lining up. The ball had not yet been snapped, and the initial indication is that it will be on Georgia. Urban Meyer, Florida's head coach, is out on the field. He's down there standing at the 19-yard line, I guess trying to get an indication of as to what the penalty was. Illegal substitution, Lewis Phillips, our spotter, tells me.
Illegal substitution against the defense. The penalty declined. 3rd down. Cut.
So Joey Ehas will kick from the 10 for the extra point to try and tie this game. Ihas, a redshirt senior, transfer from East Carolina. Florida kicking from left to right. There's the snap and the hold, and the kick is good. And we are tied. First quarter, 4:39 to go. Georgia 7, Florida 7. Take a quick SEC timeout here on the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network. AJC scoreboard, Mississippi State defeats Kentucky 31-14. That helps. Iowa in overtime defeats Michigan State 34-27. Vanderbilt trailing Miami of Ohio in the third, 13-10. Arkansas 34-10 on Florida International in the third. We're 7-7 here in the first quarter. Let's go down to the sidelines and Lauren Smith. Lauren?
Scott, there's still great enthusiasm here on the Georgia sideline. The plan is working fine, although that touchdown pass, it looked like I couldn't see in the corner, but it looked like we had position. I don't know why he couldn't knock the ball away. But anyway, I think the plan now is to come up the field, hold the ball, score, take whatever drive is necessary, 80 yards, 40 yards, whatever necessary. When you get the ball, take it, move it, and score, and keep Tebow on the sideline.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
Well, it is a good plan. Lauren's exactly right. We were actually in position there on that pass play that scored for Florida. Just didn't make the play. We had a pretty good shot there at intercepting the football. Wasn't a very well-thrown pass by Tebow, but good enough when we didn't make the play for the touchdown. Now we need to go capture the momentum, get it right back, hold the clock some, keep that Florida offense off the field, and go punch it in.
Asher Allen will be the deep man for Georgia as the Bulldog receiving team runs out onto the field. Gators will line it up on their own 30 and kick from left to right with Joey Ihas getting set to kick off. Florida went 67 yards in a mere 3 plays, 40-yard touchdown pass from Tebow to Murphy, who had a big catch against Kentucky last week. Lewis Murphy had a 66-yard touchdown catch against the Wildcats in their win in Lexington. So we're tied at 7. Here's the kick from Ihas, a long end-over-end kick as Asher Allen takes it 2 yards deep in the end zone, straight ahead to the 10, to the 15, and crunched at the 17-yard line. And Georgia will start inside their 20 on offense for the second time in the ballgame.
And the emotions between these two teams are just sky high right now. Every time there's a big play, the entire benches are erupting. The exchange of different teams coming off and on the field and personnel groupings. A lot of emotion, a lot of excitement in this football game right now.
Dogs break out of the huddle. Bailey breaks out to the right. And Massaquoi to the left or the near side. I formation with Marino and Chappis, the fullback now. Stafford under center. Now he rises up and appears to be audibilizing. 14 on the play clock for Georgia as they move from right to left. Stafford takes the snap, hands it to Noshan. He goes right, not much there. Wanted to come back left, but he is stacked up and grabbed and swallowed up immediately just across the 15 at the 16-yard line. So it's going to be a loss on the play of almost 2 yards as Derek Harvey, the very talented defensive end out of Greenbelt, Maryland, A.J. Jones, a linebacker, make the stop on Marino. Harvey and Cunningham are certainly very good players. Harvey leading the team in tackles for loss and sacks, and Cunningham out of Stone Mountain, Georgia, Stevenson High School, not far behind.
Yeah, and they tricked us a little bit right there on that play. We ended up checking right into a corner blitz, so ran right at him.
Dogs stay in the eye. This time will pass. Stafford right down the middle. He's got a man wide open. It's caught by Massaquoi. 50, 40. So long, everybody. Massaquoi, touchdown.
What a great throw by Matthew Stafford, staying in the pocket. Florida came out and played cover 2. We had 2 verticals going up, and Matthew Stafford, showing his arm strength there, just throws a strike to Massaquoi on the outside.
Holy smokes. Boy, this is fun, and we're not even through the first quarter.
Boy, right on the fingertips of Massaquoi. Great catch, but what a fantastic throw to thread the needle into that cover 2 coverage.
84 yards on the touchdown strike. Mohamed Massaquoi taking it the distance. And now check the call from the officials. We got another unsportsmanlike on Georgia after the touchdown. Okay, one time was enough. We don't need to be doing that every game. or every time we score, that's going to kill us.
Well, I think the officials now are pretty sensitive to how high the emotions we're getting in this game and trying to calm it down a little bit.
After the play is over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 1 on Georgia. Penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
That was on Massaquoi. I didn't see what he did. I don't know if he was taunting the crowd or the Gators or, you're not supposed to bring attention to yourself. That's how they define it. But anyway, we'll face another 15-yarder on the kickoff after the Kocho extra point attempt, which is happening right now. And the kick is up and the kick is good as Kocho remains perfect. And the Dogs regain the lead 14-7 on an 84-yard pass and catch. Stafford to Massaquoi. Dogs lead, 3:40 to go. First quarter. Timeout here in Jacksonville. Don't go anywhere. You'll miss a lot. Let's take a quick SEC timeout on the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network.
Good game.
Great game.
Huh?
A good game plus wings equals a great game.
How do you figure?
It's like this. Take an incomplete pass. At Buffalo Wild Wings, you just pick up a wing, and that pass almost feels complete.
Dude.
Yeah, your team is getting swept in the playoffs. Grab hold of a wing, and you hold on.
Wow, this has been an electric first quarter. Georgia leading Florida by a score of 14-7. Mohamed Massaquoi, 84-yard touchdown catch on an 82-yard drive. You'll recall Noshawn Marino was dropped for a loss on the first play, so Georgia goes long distance in a hurry. And with the holidays coming up, we've got the perfect gift for you for this Christmas. How about Larry Munson's Greatest Calls, The Richt Era? It's coming out on DVD just in time for the holidays. All the great calls over the last 7 seasons. Go to GeorgiaDogs.com, and that's where you'll be able to find it. So get it just in time for the holidays. Larry Munson's Greatest Calls, The Richt Era. Put it in your stocking by Christmas. Well, I don't know what to make of this, Eric. I mean, the emotion in this ball game has been enough for a whole ball game, and we're not even through the first quarter.
No, it really has. This Georgia team, and we're the ones that really sparked it when the entire team runs off of the field after that first touchdown. It really got the excitement levels ramped up to a new level here, and people are going crazy.
We kick off from the 15 after the unsportsmanlike penalty. It's taken by Brandon James back at the Florida 17. He's up quickly to the 30, cuts to the near side, still on his feet, tackled now at the 36-yard line, and more flags come out after the tackle by Drew Williams and Chris Gonder on that play. Brandon James brought down at around the 37-yard line. Let's check these flags. Well, Georgia's one of the least penalized teams in the league, second least actually, and Florida is second most, but the Bulldogs have been racking up the penalties so far. And I think they're going to get Georgia for a face mask penalty right here. Drew Williams may have been the culprit on that, trying to bring down the very shifty and quick Brandon James. He's a very dangerous return man. They may be discussing 15 yards or 5 yards on the face mask penalty that's coming against Georgia. Personal foul face mask, another 15-yarder. Oh, they got two personal foul penalties on that play against Georgia. My goodness.
Well, the emotion is a great thing to have, but you've got to bring it in and rein it in a little bit, because if you continue to have penalties like this and continue to give Florida a short field where they don't have to drive the entire length of the,
During the return,
of the football field.
Personal foul, grasping the face mask, number 47 on Georgia. After the play, personal foul, grasping the face mask, also against Georgia, 30-yard penalty, first down.
Smokes. Well, we're going to get to 100 yards in penalties faster than in total yardage. We're already over that in total yardage, but, I mean, we kicked off from the 15, and then we give them 30 more on the return. They're going to be on the Georgia 33-yard line. I mean, you're just inviting them to tie the score right here.
Yeah, and just to finish that thought that I had, you've got to rein that emotion in and quit giving this Florida team and this Florida offense short fields to work. The emotion's good. You just can't let it get out of control.
Well, the Gators will try to take advantage of the 2 Georgia penalties, 2 15-yarders on the kick return. Florida at the Georgia 33-yard line. They move from left to right. Tebow in the shotgun. Harvin in the backfield for Florida. And he'll take the handoff and take it to the left side, get around the corner, across the 30, down to the 29 and the 28-yard line. Dannell Ellerby, the linebacker, making the stop for Georgia. They spot it just inside the 28-yard line. So the Gators with about a 6-yard gain on that play from Harvin. Bringing up second down, and they call it 5 yards to go.
And Percy Harvin's just so quick. We're again in pretty good position there. He just squirts right past a couple of our defensive linemen, and next thing you know, he's got a 5-yard gain.
Caldwell breaks out left, face on, and Murphy to the right side. And one back in the backfield, and that's Harvin, and he'll take it and come to the near side. Breaks a tackle at the 30, still on his feet at the 20. Tripped up inside the 15-yard line, close to the near sideline by Thomas Flowers. But Harvin running hard inside the 15 to the Georgia 13-yard line. Looks like where they will finally spot the ball. So the Gators moving on a short field. Remember, they started this possession on Georgia's 33 after the Dogs kicked from its own 15 and then tacked on 30 yards in face mask personal foul penalties on the kick return. So the Gators aren't having to earn this one too much.
Well, this Gator offense has scored now on 54% of its drives this year. Giving them a short field is not what you want to do.
Now Tebow breaks out from behind the center, and they direct snap it to Keyston Moore. Ball is loose. They fumble it. Georgia may have it at the 25-yard line. Let's see. Geno Atkins may have gotten on the ball. They broke Tebow out and sent a direct snap to Keyston Moore. Officials are trying to unstack the pile at the Georgia 25-yard line. It looked like Atkins may have gotten on that ball, but was he able to keep it? Florida saying they recovered it. Now here's the official word. It is Gator football. Gators got it somehow back at the 25-yard line, so they lose some yardage on the play, but nearly a disastrous play for Florida as Tebow in the shotgun ran away to the near side, and they sent a direct snap to the running back. And Drew Miller, the senior center out of Sarasota, sent it sailing over the head of Keyston Moore. But the Florida Gators recover it.
Well, the Gators catch a break there. Geno Atkins was all over that football. I'm not sure how he didn't come up with it, but Gators catch a break to get that back.
Second down, 21 for Florida at the 25-yard line of Georgia. Trips to the left, and two receivers now to the right. Empty backfield. Tebow stands in the shotgun, takes the snap. Pressure, and he's eaten up at the 28-yard line. Georgia got a bull rush. Cade Weston coming in. And they swallowed up Tebow, and they spotted around the 29. So a loss of 4 on the play. Ellerby finally made the tackle after the bull rush by Cade Weston.
Scott, one of the keys to the game was our defensive line has to dominate the line of scrimmage. So far today, we've held up on our own pretty well. Last 2 plays, we've been back into the backfield extremely quickly.
3rd and 26 from the Georgia 29 for Florida. Gators going backwards. Trip receivers to the left. They bring a man in motion now. That's Brandon James in the backfield. They work from the shotgun. Snap to Tebow. Stands in the pocket. Still standing, looking. Now he wants to scramble. We eat him up again. We drop him at the 35-yard line. Big Cade Weston, 6'5", 316 out of Red Bank, New Jersey. Grabs him by the ankles, and Superman falls at the 35-yard line. It's 4th and long.
And give some credit there to the Georgia secondary. Manned up across the board. Nowhere for Tebow to go with the football, giving our defensive line in Weston a chance to go get Tebow.
3rd sack of the day for Georgia. We're still in the first quarter. It's 14-7 Dogs. 30 seconds to go in quarter number 1. And this defense has electrified the red and black across the way here at Jacksonville Municipal Stadium. Clock at 19. Florida may just be letting it tick down. Well, the play clock's at 1 now. And there's the flag as
delay of game offense.
Florida purposely takes a delay of game penalty, so they back it up to the 40. And Florida will try to punt Georgia into a hole. It would appear right here. Boy, it looked like you gift wrapped a touchdown or at least a field goal for Florida as they had the ball starting the possession, Z, on the 33-yard line. But the Dogs' defense was very taut on that possession.
No question about that. We got a little help there from Florida, too. I think they got a little bit too smart for themselves, moving Tebow out, direct snap back to their back. A little bit of a break there for us. And then defensively, we just come up with a couple of big plays in a row.
That's going to be the end of the quarter now as they don't get the snap off before the quarter ends. So 15 minutes in the books. And, boy, that was a fun 15 minutes. Here we go to the second quarter with Georgia leading Florida 14-7. Timeout now as we pause for these words on the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network. We go to the second quarter. Georgia leading Florida 14-7 here in Jacksonville. This game summary sponsored by Regions Bank, proud sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs. Well, the Dogs have 2 touchdowns, one after a Florida turnover early in the ball game, recovered by Asher Allen. He returned it 28 yards to the Gator 40. Then Georgia went 40 yards in 9 plays. Noshawn Marino, 1-yard touchdown dive. And then the fun really began as the entire sideline emptied onto the field to celebrate the touchdown. The Dogs drew numerous penalties on that, then had to kick off from their own 7-yard line. So Florida had terrific field position and ended up scoring on a 40-yard touchdown pass from Tebow to Lewis Murphy. Georgia struck a few moments ago. Stafford to Massaquoi, 84-yard touchdown strike to regain the lead, 14-7. And Florida preparing to punt here when time resumes as we go down to the sidelines and Lauren Smith for this Cook's Pest Control sideline report. Lauren, all yours.
Scott, on that celebration, a sideline official here keeping stats for the officials, for the SEC, said to me after that celebration, he says, I've been doing this for 40 years, and this is the first time I ever marked down that every official on the field threw a flag.
Oh, man. That's the first time I've ever seen anything like that. It was amazing. Florida standing back in punt formation. Chaz Henry out of Dallas, Georgia, standing on his own 48, pooches it high, spiraling, and it's caught by the Gators down on the Georgia 1-yard line. Is that James down there that caught it? Yep, Brandon James, who's a great return man, also works on the punt team for Florida. He just caught it like a fair catch down on the 1-yard line. So Georgia in a hole from their own 1-yard line. 99 yards. Is that how far we need to go? Can we do it again? We've done it before in this area. Yeah. John Lastinger on the tailgate show. He was a part of that 99-yard drive. Be nice to get another one right here. 9 seconds into the second quarter. Georgia with a 14-7 lead. Got to be very careful right here. Marino, the tailback in the I formation. We slide Figgins in motion. Play action. We want to pass. We throw it out of the end zone. Intercepted at the 25 on a short pass. An easy touchdown as Florida's Wandy Pierre-Louis intercepted a lame duck pass at the 25 and dives into the end zone. That should be a flag. It is a flag. Touchdown, Florida. I said you got to be careful here as Florida got good pressure, Eric, on Stafford, and he really had no business throwing that football.
No, he probably never should have thrown it. Of course, he was just trying to get rid of the football. It was close to being a safety there. He had somebody wrapped around him. I'm sure Stafford was just trying to get that ball out of bounds, but with somebody wrapped around his waist, couldn't step into it, got nothing on it. That was just an easy play. The challenge now for the Bulldogs that they played with so much emotion in the first half.
Unsportsmanlike. Number 4. He jumped into the end zone. That penalty will be taken to the kickoff.
But the Bulldogs played with so much emotion there in the first half. Can they rein that back in and stay excited and stay confident with what they're doing? It's very, very difficult to do.
Pierre-Louis with the interception, 25-yard touchdown return. Here's the point after try by Joey Ehas. The snap and the hold and the kick are good. And we're tied at 14. Gators 14, Bulldogs 14. 14:41 to go in quarter number 2. Timeout on the field. Let's pause for these words on the Georgia Bulldogs radio network. Non-stop action here in Jacksonville. Florida ties it up on an interception of a Matthew Stafford pass out of the end zone. Picked off by Wandy Pierre-Louis. 25-yard return. His first career interception and his first career return for a touchdown. We're tied at 14 as we pause for station identification on the Georgia Bulldogs radio network.
Scott, I just talked to Geno Atkins on that fumble that we thought he had. He said, I thought I had it too. Says, I had it, I rolled over, and he fell over me, and he had his arms around it too. So I guess tie goes to the Gator in that situation.
Yeah, it turned out to be a fortunate break, I guess, for Florida because it turned out to affect the field position. They were able to punt it and down Georgia on the 1. A.J. Jones, a linebacker, was the guy that got pressure on Stafford in the end zone as he was trying to throw it off balance and get rid of it and avoid the safety. Just a completely underthrown ball, obviously, and it was hanging up there for Pierre-Louis to intercept, which he did at the 25. We're tied at 14. Gators will kick off from their 15 after the penalty on the celebration. There's the kick, and it is taken by Georgia at the 18-yard line. Asher Allen up ahead to the 30, between the hashes across the 35 to about the 38-yard line. So Georgia will have decent field position. They'll start on offense, and Stafford and company will get another opportunity here as they work from left to right from their own 38-yard line.
Scott, I've gone entire seasons, has not seen as many kickoffs take place from inside the 20, either on the 15 or inside the 10. And we've had 3 or 4 of them.
I think most of them
first
have been.
quarter. I think every one of them, except for the first one to start the game.
Dogs and Gators tied at 14, early moments of the second quarter. D'Amico Goodman breaks out to the far side. Chris Durham, Mohamed Massaquoi, 2 receivers to the near side. Noshawn Marino in the backfield. Florida with a 4-man front. They've got 5 secondary men in the ball game. We hand it to Marino. He comes this way across the 40, straight ahead now to the 44-yard line. Noshawn moving it from the 38 to the 44, almost the 45. So a gain of 6.5. Velasco and Davis, the guard and center, leading the way for Georgia. Dustin Doe and Brandon Spikes, the linebackers, on the tackle for the Gators. It'll be second down and a long 3 yards to go for Georgia, just shy of their own 45-yard line.
You mentioned Velasco and Davis. Really everybody on the offensive line right now continue to get good pushes, opening up some running room for Moreno.
Mikey Henderson in the ball game at wide out, but they hand it to Noshawn. Marino comes to the short side of the field across the 45 and almost to the 46-yard line before he is wrapped up by, again, the pair of linebackers, Spikes and Doe, who are their leading tacklers on the team. Spikes, the third leading tackler in the Southeastern Conference. Marino got the ball across the 45, just shy of the 46. It'll be third down and about 2.5 yards to go for Georgia.
Georgia today 2 for 2 on third down. We talked earlier about really controlling the ball. These third downs are very, very important, especially now to hold the ball for a little bit, keep that Florida offense off the field.
Massaquoi left, Goodman and Marino right. Stafford wants to pass, throws to Noshawn. Caught! Falling down at the Gator 46-yard line. It'll be a first down. Noshawn did a great job to make that catch. It was a little bit low and a little bit out of his reach, but he was able to hang on. He's got terrific hands, Eric, as well as terrific feet.
He really does. He's the kind of player all around, the way he blocks, the way he picks up blitzes, the way he catches the football, obviously the way he runs the football is just a special talent.
So Georgia in Florida territory. Nose of the ball near the 45-yard line of Florida. Dogs run out of the I formation. They flip-flop Figgins, the tight end, to the near side. One receiver right and one left. Marino, the tailback. Stafford under center. Takes the snap, going to give it to Noshawn on a stretch. Noshawn right, cuts back left, tries to get back to the middle of the field, but he is stopped at the line of scrimmage. May have lost a couple of inches on the play. The linebacker Dustin Doe out of Jasper, Florida, 6 foot, 223-pound sophomore, making the stop. That'll bring up second down. It's 14-14, Georgia and Florida, 12-25, and the clock ticking here in quarter number 2. I formation for the Dogs under heavy cloud cover here in Jacksonville. The Dogs work from left to right. There's the snap. There's the give to Marino. Tries to find some running room. Right tackle, Noshawn, stacked up right at the Gator 44-yard line. So the drive is slowing down here now for Georgia as they've moved into Florida territory, but finding the real estate a little bit harder to come by. It's going to be 3rd and 9 after a gain of only 1 for Noshawn as the Dogs work from the Florida 44-yard line. We'll break Henderson and Durham out to the left. Bailey to the right. Marino in the backfield. Dogs in the shotgun. There's the leg kick by Stafford. Now he walks up to the line of scrimmage to change the play. 5 seconds on the play clock. Stafford takes the shotgun snap. Quarterback draw. Stafford, 45. Dodges a man, 40 and 39-yard line is where he is brought down. He's going to be shy of the first down by about 4 yards. He picked up 6 yards on the play. Spikes and Harvey tackling the Georgia quarterback there, and looks like we're going to try a long field goal with Brandon Coutu. Oh, boy. Ball is on the 39. Brian Mims, the holder, will spot it somewhere around the 45, 46-yard line. A 56-yard attempt for Brandon Kocho. He's kicked a 58-yarder before. He's kicking from left to right with the wind. There's the snap and the hold and the kick. A low line drive. That's not going to make it. No good. Kocho didn't hit that one very well. It came out of there like a knuckleball on a low line drive and fell well short of the goalpost. So the Dogs miss on a 56-yard field goal try with 10:33 to go in the first half. Timeout on the field. Georgia 14, Florida 14. Let's pause for these words on the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network. Scott Howard, Eric Zier, Neil Hondo Williamson, Lauren Smith, and the rest of the crew. Lewis Phillips, our spotter. Our producers, Joel Williams and Alan Hunt. Our engineer is Charles Youngs, and Tony Schiavone is manning our scoreboard, and Chris Schiavone is in the booth as well, as Georgia and Florida are tied at 14 here in the second quarter. The Dogs just tried a 56-yard field goal, and it was well short and low by Brandon Kocho. And Kocho's had his issues in this stadium, now just 1 out of 4 on field goal attempts here in Jacksonville.
And that was a pretty tough one as well. You know, Kocho, without a doubt, has got the leg to do it. But the middle of that field is so beat up and chopped up that just getting a good plant to make that kind of a kick is a difficult task.
So Florida will have the ball on their 39-yard line when time comes back. Hey, are you looking for tickets to Georgia-Auburn? Well, it's sold out. However, we can still get you tickets to the game in Athens. Just go to your computer, log on to WSBradio.com, look at the column on the left, locate the Bulldogs Radio Network, click on that for the details and how to register, and we'll give away the tickets this week to Georgia-Auburn, plus Georgia and Georgia Tech and plenty more. We'll start giving those away this week. Register to win at WSBradio.com. 14-14 ball game. Gators from right to left now. Tebow with the ball. Play fake to Harvin. Going to go down the far sideline, and it is caught as that pass goes to Jared Faison in Georgia territory at the 36-yard line. He was wide open on the far side of the field. Just had to stand there and wait on Tim Tebow to unload it.
Well, on top of that, Florida sent a guy deep, and he took everybody on Georgia's defense with him and left him wide open there on the sideline.
26-yard gain on the pass play by Tebow, who is throwing today and not running. Tebow's numbers, his rushing numbers, 3 from -19. All 3 of those lost yardage plays on sacks. Gators trying to drive and take the lead for the first time. Man comes in motion. That's Brandon James. Now he stops to the left of Tebow, who's in the shotgun. He'll hand it off to James. James straight ahead down the far hash up near the 30-yard line. Jarius Wynn, 6'5" junior out of Lincolnton, Georgia, making the stop on the tiny James, who picks up about 6 yards on the play, maybe a shade more than that. They spot the ball on the Georgia 30. Will be second down and 4 for the guys in blue. Florida driving from right to left. Georgia's defense trying to hang on after missing a long field goal attempt. Florida got good field position. 4-man defensive front for Georgia. Tebow this time under center. Now he'll break out and run to the near side, and here comes a direct snap in some direction. It goes right back to Percy Harvin, and Florida's sideline called a timeout.
Second timeout of the half.
Right before the snap, Urban Meyer called the timeout, so that killed the play. 9:14 to go in the first half. It's Georgia 14, Florida 14. Timeout on the field once again. Let's pause for these words on the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network. AJC scoreboard: Oregon leading Southern Cal at the half, 10-3. Connecticut shutting out South Florida in the second quarter, 16-0. Vanderbilt 17-13 on the Miami of Ohio. They're getting late in the fourth, and Minnesota leading Michigan in the second by a score of 10-6. So some upsets are brewing around the country today. Right here in Jacksonville, it is Georgia 14 and Florida 14. Gators with the ball, facing a second down and 4 from the Georgia 30. Tebow lining up in the shotgun. They've got Brandon James, the sophomore from nearby St. Augustine, in the backfield. He's 5'6" and 180 and faster than a water bug. Man comes in motion. That's Caldwell. They'll hand it off to James straight ahead. Gets by the tackle. Hit by Washington at the 27-yard line, but James stays on his feet down to about the 23-yard line. So Brandon James with a nice little gain inside. For a little guy, he runs pretty well between the tackles. How about that, Z?
Well, he does. He runs hard. You know, we have to be able to tackle well and tackle the first time we touch somebody to slow this offense down. You just get the feeling that every time this Gator offense is on the field, they just gain more and more confidence and gain some momentum when they're out there.
Picked up the first down on the Georgia 23, 1st and 10 in the shotgun. Play action Tebow's got pressure. He throws, and it is incomplete to Harbin at the 24-yard line. Harbin falling down. Brandon Miller, the linebacker, got great pressure on Tim Tebow, forced him to throw it a little bit earlier, and the pass is incomplete. Miller got a really good pass rush on Tebow. We've already got 3 sacks on Tebow today. Well, we about 3 more.
we could use a couple right now, but Miller there just came on a Sam linebacker blitz, came untouched. Florida had a little rollout pattern, so rolled right into him. So good call at the right time.
2nd down, 10 Gators from the Georgia 23-yard line. Tebow to stay in the shotgun. Brandon James in the backfield. They'll run a little option to the right side, flip it to James, and James is hit near the line of scrimmage and then pushed all the way back to the 30. Danell Ellerby leading the charge, and he's standing at about the 40-yard line trying to get this crowd fired up on Georgia's side of the field. But Brandon James, very little running room that time. They call it no gain, although they moved the yard marker. They do give him about a yard on the play, so it's at the 22 now. 3rd down and 9 from the Georgia 22.
And you really couldn't defend that last play any better than what the Georgia defense did.
Tebow in the shotgun, empty set. 4 receivers left and 1 to the right. There's the snap to Tebow, stands in the pocket, looks to the left. He's going to be sacked again. Sack number 4 as Georgia wraps him up at the 26-yard line. Geno Atkins, the first in. Rennie Curran, the second man in, and then a couple of other white jerseys piled on for the ride. But Tebow dropped at the 26-yard line. 4 more yards on the loss, and sack number 4 of the afternoon.
Scott, every time that Florida offense goes empty where they have no backs in the backfield, we bring Keelan Johnson on a weak safety blitz, and every time we've either put pressure or sacked Tim Tebow. Good job by our coaching staff in the off week of developing a game plan for what's a very difficult set to defend.
Gators try a 43-yard field goal, the longest for Joey Ehas, and the kick is on the way, and it is good. That's his career best. A 43-yard field goal by the Gators senior puts Florida on top for the first time. Gators 17 and Georgia 14 with 7:11 to go in the second quarter. Timeout. Let's take a quick SEC break here on the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network. Well, the Gators got good field position after Georgia's miss of a long 56-yard field goal, and they move into Georgia territory and try one from 43 yards, and Joey Ehas connects. That's a career best as a Gator for Ehas. His previous long try was only 42 yards, but he converts on the 43-yarder to put Florida up by a score of 17-14. 7 minutes, 11 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. And the countdown is on for the Georgia men's basketball season. Game day just around the corner. Don't want to miss a minute of the action. Log on to GeorgiaDogs.com or call 877-542-1231 to secure your season tickets. Seats only $225 this year for Wake Forest, Georgia Tech, Florida, Kentucky, all of those teams visiting Stegman Coliseum. So come on out and cheer on the Georgia men's basketball team. 877-542-1231 or log on to GeorgiaDogs.com and purchase your tickets today. Hey, this time we're going to have a kickoff from where we normally have the kickoff on the 30-yard line.
It's the first one in a while, but if you're a Georgia Bulldog fan, you've got to like that defensive stand, holding them to a field goal there. This Florida offense, when they get the ball, the majority of the time they touch it, they're putting the ball in the end zone, scoring touchdowns. To hold them to a field goal there was big. What's going to be key right now is can we regain a little bit of that emotion that we had in the first quarter.
Ehas has it teed up on the 30. Here's the kick from right to left. High end over end kick. Asher Allen takes it on the 3 on the near side, up to the 10 to the 15, cuts back to the near side to the 20, avoids a man across the 30 and out of bounds at the 35-yard line into the Gators sideline. A nifty return by Asher Allen, the sophomore from Tucker. So Georgia with decent field position once again. On the 35-yard line, they'll have the ball moving from the left to right, trailing by 3 now. 7:05 to go in the first half.
In that first drive of the game, Georgia had a lot of success running Noshan right behind Sturdivant, right behind Davis. Kind of got away from that after the initial drive. We'll see if they go back to that on this series.
Massaquoi and Durham out to the left and one man to the right. Gators playing 5 secondary men right now as Bailey will take it on the near side. Caught at the 35. No, incomplete. Incomplete. He may not have hung on. The pass was a little bit low. Sean Bailey trying to catch a juggling attempt and was unable to hang on to it. So an incomplete pass brings up 2nd down and 10 from the Dogs' 35-yard line.
And up front, Vince Vance has come in for Chris Davis.
Looking at a replay, that was a pass that Bailey definitely should have caught. Right between the waist and the chest, but he just bobbled it and dropped it. 2nd down and 10. Now Stafford runs away from behind the center. They directly snap it to Noshan. Noshan to the near side across the 35 to the 40. He's wrapped up around the headgear and tossed down at the 36, make it the 41-yard line. Dustin Doe, the linebacker, wrangling Noshan Marino. So the Dogs taking one out of the Gators playbook as Stafford ran away from behind the center in the shotgun, ran off to the far side, and they sent a direct snap right to Noshan.
Well, they do, and when you do that, if anybody goes with Stafford there, all of a sudden the Georgia Bulldogs have the advantage in the blocking scheme with numbers.
Dogs at their own 41-yard line, 3rd down and 4 for Georgia. Marino the lone setback, 2 receivers left and 1 right. Stafford under center, drops back, throws it in the near flat to Marino. Complete. Marino on the run across the 40, the 45, and up to the 48-yard line. Scott Haverkamp had a key block on that play for Georgia. Kyle Jackson, the free safety, senior from Neptune Beach, making the stop, but not before Noshan Marino picks up the 1st down.
Yeah, great block there by Haverkamp. We actually got caught running that play into a defense we really didn't want to. They just dropped back and played zone. Good move by Noshan. Great block there by Haverkamp. Good execution allowed for us to get that 1st down.
Ball just across the Dogs' 48-yard line. Will flip-flop Chandler to the near side, run out of the I formation. 1 receiver to each side. Play action fake. Stafford stands in the pocket. Now wants to go long. Boy, he airmailed that one 20 yards over the intended receiver, Mohamed Massaquoi, who slowed down his route at the 15. The ball landed inside the 5, and just a couple of blue shirts chasing after it, but not really close to them as Stafford sent it very long and incomplete.
Yeah, the Gators wrapped that up and covered that play extremely well. I think Stafford was just throwing that football away after the last pass he tried to throw away that got intercepted. He was going to make no doubt about that one.
And he certainly did that. Brings up 2nd down and 10 for Georgia. Dogs on their own 48-yard line, trailing 17-14, 5:43 to go in quarter number 2. Stafford steps up to the line, changes the play, audibilizes, steps back in the shotgun now. Marino in the backfield. He'll block on this play. Stafford will throw it. Caught by Bailey at the 30, down to the 25-yard line. Sean Bailey in stride, catching that ball, getting about 5 or 6 yards after the catch to the Gators' 25. Hayden and Jackson making the stop on Bailey, who lost the shoe and will now head to the sideline to put it back on.
And good job there by Trenton Sturdivant. Florida blitzed the nickel linebacker off of the slot receiver. Trenton got all the way out there, sliding his protection, and picked him up, giving Stafford plenty of time to deliver that football.
And Noshan helped providing good protection on that pass play. Goodman and Henderson, the receivers now, will run out of the eye again. Give it to Noshan. Right tackle. Noshan straight ahead across the 20, kicking and driving his legs down to near the 17-yard line as the Dogs move a little bit closer to that Gator goal line. Georgia will have 2nd down coming up, trailing by 3, starting to get a little bit late here in the 2nd quarter. They spot the ball inside the Florida 18-yard line.
Another good run there away from the strength of the formation, so away from the tight end. We've had a lot of success running the football.
Noshan with 7 yards on that carry, unofficially 15 for 58 right now. I formation for the Dogs. Georgia trying to regain the lead here as we drive at the Gator 18. Play action fake. Stafford's going to go to the end zone. A little bit long and incomplete. Tried to get it to Chandler, who had 2 men on him. Tripped Chandler, the tight end, jumping and stretching that arm out as far as he could, but the pass just a little bit out of his reach in the near right corner of the end zone. That'll bring up 3rd down for Georgia.
Again, Florida did a good job covering that play. They've done a good job with their coverage on this series. Chandler had to go up and right in between 2 Florida defenders. The ball was up high where only Chandler could get to it. So good ball position there, but a little bit scary when that ball went out of his hand.
They had the freshman Hayden and the free safety Jackson covering on that play. It's 3rd down and a long 2 for Georgia from the Florida 17-yard line. Stafford, quarterback draw, straight ahead, 15, 10, runs into a man down to the 8-yard line. Matthew Stafford, contact with Jackson, and Jackson's still on the ground. Hello, Matthew Stafford, showing a little Tim Tebow style there, tucking it and running it straight ahead, and they'll spot it at the 8-yard line. It will be 1st and goal Bulldogs.
Well, that's good to see Stafford step up and go do that. You know, he came out with Tebow. They've been together for a while now, just in the recruiting classes. To see him go do that, take a page out of Tebow's book, that's nice to see.
Bailey to the right, Massaquoi to the left, I formation, Sutherland and Marino. The tight end Chandler slides across in motion. We hand it to Noshan, runs behind right tackle, and not a lot there as he may have gotten down to the 7-yard line before he was stacked up by a pile of blue jerseys. I see Harvey in there and Jackson, and who else was in there? Take your pick. A.J. Jones, the linebacker, and Cunningham making the stop of Noshan. They spot the ball just shy of the Florida 7-yard line. So Georgia trying to regain the lead here. 3:39 and the clock ticking. Quarter number 2, Georgia trailing by 3, 17-14, but sniffing some points right here. Massaquoi breaks out to the left. Tony Wilson on the left side, too, on the far hash. One man in the backfield is Marino. Florida jumps off sides, and the Gators, or Georgia, snapped the ball, and Stafford downed it, and then Florida just jumped across and just pile drive Stafford into the ground while he was down on one knee with the ball, and the flags come out flying.
And the flags should come out flying there. Stafford was on his knee. You can get somebody hurt really in careers by doing what just happened there.
Now Urban Meyer is going to run out onto the field to the 16-yard line. He's way out there. And he's trying to get somebody's attention, trying to get the attention of the official, who will now pick up the flag and come and talk to the Gators head coach.
There is no line of scrimmage infraction. There was no one in the end zone. The ball was snapped. The quarterback went down on the ground. After the play, quarterback was clearly down. Dead ball, personal foul against Florida.
So the explanation there from Penn Wagers, the referee, although Georgia will get a little bit of yardage on the personal foul by Florida. That'll move it half the distance from just inside the 8 to just inside the 4, and it'll be a 1st down and goal-to-goal situation for Georgia.
And I don't know how they didn't call offsides on that either on Florida. They were all over Velasco. That's what caused them to snap the football.
It certainly appeared to be, but they waved that one off, but they still tackled Stafford well after the play. And Georgia has it 1st and goal from the 4-yard line. Left to right we move. Flip-flop some players. Move Chappis in and Sutherland back. Power formation. Hand it to Sutherland. Sutherland trying to crawl his way into the end zone. And a flag is down on the play, and we may have movement on Georgia. That is the call. Illegal procedure on the Bulldogs, and that's going to back the Dogs up to about the 9-yard line on the 5-yard penalty.
And that penalty is tough, too. Right when you get between the 9 and the 15-yard
Prior
line.
to the snap, false start. 72 on the offense, penalty 5 yards. That remains first.
When you're at the 8, 9, 10-yard line and really up to the 15-yard line, it's really the toughest place to move the football as an offensive team.
10 penalties between the two teams in this game here in the first half. 3:01 to go, first half. Georgia trails 17-14. They have it 1st and goal on the Florida 9. Left to right, Stafford is in the shotgun. Now walks up to the line of scrimmage and is audibilizing the play with 13 on the play clock. 2 receivers left and 1 to the right. snap to Stafford's going to run it to the 10, and that's as far as he goes. They stacked him up at the 10-yard line. So he didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. Matthew Stafford trying to run it over on the left side of the line of scrimmage. Had that hole closed in a hurry, and that'll bring up 2nd and goal from the Florida 10. Dogs were down on the 4-yard line, but a motion penalty and now a lost yardage play by Matthew Stafford has them 2nd and goal from the 10. Trying to regain the lead with 2:12 and the clock ticking here in quarter number 2.
And Georgia this year in this kind of field position has really done a good job utilizing some middle screens and some tunnel screens. We'll see if they do something similar to that right here.
We'll group 3 to the left in tight. Now we send Sutherland in motion back and forth behind the line of scrimmage. Give it to Marino on a misdirection. Marino dancing between the hashes. Cuts out left side, straight ahead towards the end zone. Touchdown as he flips heel over head into the end zone. His heels came up and his head went down, and he got the ball across the goal line. Noshan Marino improvised on that play to get 6 points for the Dogs.
What an unbelievable individual effort by Marino. Every time he touches the ball, he's doing something exciting here. Great little cutback move.
They're going to review the play to see if he broke the plane, I guess. And, that play, there was misdirection from the outset on that play, Z, as the offense was going to the left, and Marino came back to the right, and then he danced between the hash marks and ended up going to the left side of the field.
Well, he did. Just a great individual effort there. It looks like he gets in pretty easily here from the first view that I saw.
We're looking at a replay here as it looked like the ball clearly broke the plane while he was in the air before any part of his body touched the ground. Noshan Marino. That should be 6 points without any questions being asked, as their officiating crew will have their answer for us here in just a moment.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Yes, indeed. Music to my ears as we check the AJC scoreboard. Vanderbilt 24-13 now on Miami of Ohio in the fourth. Arkansas 51-10 on Florida International in the fourth, as Georgia will try the point after attempt with Brandon Coutu. There's the snap and the hold and the kick. All good, and Georgia leads it again, this time by 4. Georgia 21, Florida 17, 1:48 to go in the first half. Quick SEC timeout right here on the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network.
This is Lawrence Smith on the sideline with Davey Pollock. Georgia's defense playing the best of the year. What do you see you like?
Quarterback pressure. They're getting after Tebow. He's baked a couple cakes in the backfield a couple times this season, and we're getting him after. We got at least 5 sacks.
Got 4, but working on the 5th one.
Have 5. You can't count, Lauren. You're too old to count.
Tell Pollock to get in there and get 1, then we'll have 5. We're going to tee it up on the 30-yard line. Kick it from left to right. And James and Moore back deep. James back the deepest on his own 12. Here's Coutu's kick. He gets his foot into a high end-over-end kick, taken on the far side of the field by Brandon James at the 8. To the near hash to the middle of the field. Got a man riding him down from behind at the 20-yard line. That's Chris Gonder, the cellular biology major. He looked like a football player on that one as he wrapped up Brandon James just across the 20-yard line. So the Gators, with 1:42 to go before halftime, trailing by 4 now, will go back on offense.
Gonder there just exploded through the guy trying to block him to get to the tackle. Good play all the way around. Florida here is one timeout, plenty of time, minute 42 seconds. Georgia still has all 3 of their timeouts.
Tebow in the shotgun. We haven't seen him run like he normally does. That shoulder must be a problem, and that's certainly affected Florida's offense. He's letting other guys do the dirty work. Handoff goes to Harvin. He's dropped in the backfield by big Corby Irvin. 6'4", 286, a junior out of Augusta. Catches Irvin in the backfield for a loss on the near side. They will spot it at looks to be about the 18-yard line. When they finally put it down, it is the 18, so a loss of almost 3 yards on Percy Harvin. Boy, it's hard to catch that guy for a lost yardage play, but the Dogs just did it. The clock moving, 70 seconds to go in the half. Tebow now walks up to the line of scrimmage and appears to be changing the play. Brandon James in the backfield. He slides over to Tebow's left. 4 seconds on the play clock. There's the snap in the shotgun. Quarterback draw. Tebow runs it to the 20, to the 24. Tripped up by Georgia at the 25-yard line as Prince Miller hit him low and Rennie Curran hit him high and flipped him with 43 seconds to go. The Gators have the ball at their own 25-yard line.
And you get a glimpse right there on that play how effective they can be when Tebow runs the football. There's just nobody else around if you don't shed a block somewhere to go get on Tebow.
It's third down. He looked a little ginger on that play. He looked to be running, kind of just slowly picking his way, like his heart's not really into running that football as hard as he normally does. Gators break Brandon James out to the far side on the right side of the field. Shotgun snap to Tebow, and his pass to the near side is deflected and batted down incomplete by Marcus Howard. Trying to get it over to Andre Caldwell, a senior receiver from Tampa, coming from the near sideline, but Howard knocked it down incomplete. It is fourth down. Clock stopped with 11 seconds left, and the Gators expecting to kick it away right here.
Marcus Howard reaching out almost behind him and knocked it down with the back of his hand, it looked like. Good play there by Howard. Good job by the Georgia defense stopping him. Good first half all in all for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Thomas Flowers back deep, not Mikey Henderson. Gators to punt. Chaz Henry back on his 11. He'll kick it high and long. Beautiful spiraling, hanging kick. And Flowers calling for the fair catch all the way back on Georgia's 21-yard line. A 53-yard boomer and no return as the clock has just 3 seconds remaining on it prior to half. Georgia on the 21-yard line. Well, the Dog fans like what they have seen in the first half. Georgia's going to go into the locker room leading the 9th-ranked Florida Gators at least by 4. I wouldn't expect it to be any more than that with just 3 seconds to go in the half. Safety formation for Georgia. Stafford is under center. He'll just take the snap and take a knee, and that's the end of the half. He flips the ball to the official, and we're done with the first half in the books. Georgia leading Florida 21-17 here in Jacksonville. Stay tuned now. The halftime show is next with Hondo and Eric right here on the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network.
Machine.
Holy moly, what a first half filled with highlights, and Eric Zier and I will bring those to you in just a few moments. Also scores from around the nation. It's 21-17. Georgia leads Florida here at the half in Jacksonville. Hi, everybody. Hondo back with you now, and welcome to the Optia Mortgage Halftime Show. Optia Mortgage has made the pledge that every time the Bulldogs win, they will donate $1,000 in Larry Munson's name to the scholarship fund at UGA. Now, Bulldog safety C.J. Bird says he's begun each day this week with one thought on his mind, beating Florida. And here's C.J. Bird with our Steve Bell. C.J.'s your State Farm Athlete of the Week.
Thank you, Hondo, and hello, Bulldog fans. North Augusta, South Carolina native C.J. Bird told me this week preparing for the big game with the Florida Gators consumed all of his focus. Having never defeated the Gators in his playing career, C.J. said he hopes this will be the year, and to get ready, he spent hours in the film room.
A lot of time in the film room. You know, you got to watch film on these guys and, just try to get ready for them and, try to spend time in the weight room just to keep your strength. And basically that's all, and practice hard at it.
When you wake up in the morning, what are you thinking about on a game week like Georgia, Florida?
I'm thinking about, how I've never beat Florida since I've been here and how I want to get a win, and definitely for the Florida guys that's on the team, they want to get a win. So definitely thinking about the guys beside me who I'm playing for.
A junior consumer economics major, CJ says it's very important for college athletes to be successful role models for younger students. He enjoys spending time reading at elementary schools.
Usually when I go home, I try to go read. My brother, he's in the 4th grade, so he wants me to read to his class a lot, so I usually go to his class and read to him. And I've done it a couple times here at the university, so I think it's a good thing to get back to the community.
I'm Steve Bell with C.J. Bird, your State Farm Athlete of the Week.
All right, thank you, Steve. Hey, if you're looking for the perfect Christmas present for the Bulldogs in your life, man, have we got it for you. Larry Munson's Greatest Calls, the Richt Era. Imagine the super highlights that you'll have of Larry's calls over the video of some of the greatest plays in recent Georgia history. You'll get the hobnailed boot game. You'll get 6 straight wins over Georgia Tech, 2 SEC championships, the man-enough game at Alabama, and so much more. Go to GeorgiaDogs.com to pre-order right now, and we'll have the DVD to you before the holidays for your favorite Bulldog in your life. That's GeorgiaDogs, DOGS.com, for Larry Munson's Greatest Calls, the Richt Era. It's 21-17. Georgia leads Florida. Maybe we're putting together the first of our Scott Howard's Greatest Calls here in Jacksonville today. Dogs are leading. We'll come back with more of the Optium Mortgage halftime show with Eric Zier after these words on the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Optium Mortgage halftime show with Eric Zier, Neil Hondo Williamson. Scott Howard's highlights coming up for you with Georgia leading 21-17. And these first half highlights brought to you by our friends at Metro PCS. Eric Zier, we came out of the box, 1st and 10 on the 29-yard line for the Florida Gators, and we had a sack right away.
Yeah, we did. First key to the game was our defensive line has to be dominant. We started the game off the right way.
All right, well, Florida worked its way out of that and worked its way down the field across midfield on the 8th play of the drive. The Dogs' defense came up big.
Harvin and Caldwell on the near side for Florida, and Murphy breaks out to the left. Stay in the shotgun. Tebow takes the snap, hands it off straight ahead to Moore. Moore losing the ball. It's picked up by Georgia. Asher Allen's got it. Asher Allen at midfield to the 40, to the 30, down the far sideline and out of bounds. Georgia recovered the fumble, picked it up and took off running. Asher Allen deep in Florida territory down the far sideline.
That's Scott Howard with the call. The play was brought back a little bit because tight-roping down that sideline, Asher had actually stepped out at the Florida 40, but the Bulldogs were in business.
Yeah, they really were. You know, coming into this game, Florida, every time they touched the ball, were scoring 54% of the time. They're going to move the ball up and down the field. You've got to create turnovers. We did that, got the ball in very good field position. Went on to put the ball in the end zone just after that.
We sure did. Just kept handing the ball to number 24, except for one critical third down rush by Brandon Sutherland. No Sean Moreno touched it 8 times on the 9-play drive, and this is number 9.
They'll stay in the eye. Chappis and Sutherland in the ball game. Chappis goes in motion, handed to No Sean. He dives, stretches out, touchdown.
No Sean with the TD for the Bulldogs. We were up 7-0. The UGA bench empty. There were two penalties, 15-yard penalties against Georgia on that play, and it began to get crazy, folks. There were flags flying for about an 8-minute period there.
Yeah, and right then and there, we declared that we were in for a battle. We declared war. The emotions of the game really got jacked up to a new level. A lot of penalties after that, but it's exactly what this Georgia team needed to do, and that's get some excitement, get some confidence, let everybody know that we're here to fight.
Florida showed that it could strike back quickly and did so on a 3-play drive after we started kicking off from our own 7.5-yard line. They didn't have that far to go. And a 3-play drive, 40-yard touchdown pass from Tim Tebow to Murphy made it 7-7. Asher Allen then returned our kickoff to the 17-yard line. We had a loss of 1, and that brought up another big play.
Dogs stay in the eye. This time we'll pass. Stafford right down the middle. He's got a man wide open. It's caught by Massaquoi. 50, 40. So long, everybody. Massaquoi, touchdown.
For just a great throw there by Stafford. Florida sat back into a cover 2. We ran verticals down the field. Caught the safety in between, a little bit between the two verticals. Stafford just threw it on a rope. Massaquoi caught the ball right on his fingertips. Once he hauled it in, he was off to the races.
After that touchdown, Georgia was able to sack Tim Tebow 2 times on the next drive for Florida. Those were the second and third sacks of a 4-sack half for the Bulldogs. Second quarter ended with Georgia leading 14-7. Then Florida tied things up on a Matt Stafford interception that was returned for a touchdown. And when we come back from the break, we'll bring you more first-half highlights from the second quarter. It's 21-17 Dogs from Jacksonville. This is the Optium Mortgage halftime report on the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network. Optium Mortgage halftime show from Jacksonville, where Georgia leads Florida 21-17. It's been wild and woolly, and it's time now for our Lowe's presentation of Grill the New Guy. The new guy is Eric Zier. And first thing we're going to do, Eric, is listen to one more highlight. It was 14-14, Georgia and Florida. Florida came down, kicked a field goal to make it 17-14, and then late in the first half, Georgia drove 65, make it 55 yards to the 10. They faced second and goal at the 10, and here was the play.
3 to the left in tight. Now we send Sutherland in motion back and forth behind the line of scrimmage. Give it to Marino on a misdirection. Marino dancing between the hashes. Cuts out left side, straight ahead towards the end zone. Touchdown as he flips heel over head into the end zone.
Yeah, just a great play there by Moreno. Great individual effort cutting back. You know, Moreno's touched the ball 17 times, running the football for 69 yards. He is a horse when you give it to him. We just got to keep feeding him, let him do his thing.
Okay, how many more touches can the guy handle? He also has 2 pass receptions.
So he's got 19 total touches. I think you just keep giving it to him. Like we talked about in pregame today, for one game, he's got the stamina to do it as much as he can. If he had to do this all year long, then I'd be worried about it. But right now in this kind of game, his emotions are high. He's feeding off the energy in this stadium. Keep giving him the football. Let him go do his thing.
Thank you, Eric Zier. We've had one top 25 upset involving an SEC team already. Today we'll come back and check scores from around the nation, then bring you second half action with Scott Howard and Eric Zier. Georgia leading here at Jacksonville. It's 21-17 on the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network. Let's check scores compiled by Tony Schiavone and sponsored by Sherwin-Williams. My friends at Sherwin-Williams, ask Sherwin-Williams. All right, finals from earlier today. Mississippi State went into Lexington and upset 14th-ranked Kentucky 31-14. Georgia Southern beat the Citadel 21-17 today. Vanderbilt over Miami, Ohio 24-13. And Arkansas walloped Florida International. Final there was 58-10. Games in progress in the top 25. You got Southern Cal trailing number 5 Oregon 17-10. They're in the third. Halftime with Connecticut leading number 11 South Florida 16-0. Halftime in Ann Arbor, 19th ranked Michigan leads Minnesota only by 13-10. And halftime in Austin with Nebraska leading 17th ranked Texas 10-3. NC State leads number 21 Virginia 7-3. They're in the second quarter. And that's going to do it for our scores as well as the Optium Mortgage halftime report. Here in Jacksonville, it's 21-17. Georgia leads Florida. The Dogs will get the second half kick, and Scott Howard and Eric Zier will bring you the play-by-play action. Following these words, this is the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network.
Scott Howard back with Eric Zier and Neil Williamson and Lauren Smith. And right now, let's go down to Lauren for this Cook's Pest Control sideline report. Lauren, tell us about the locker room at the half.
Plenty of energy. In fact, that was the theme. Let's keep up the energy. All the players were saying that. Let's keep the intensity high. And the coaches were reminding them that you are doing a good job. We like the way you're approaching the game. Continue, keep it up. But don't forget, there are 30 minutes left. They went over some things that the team was doing well, but I think the consensus was we really gave them a couple of touchdowns, and we don't want to do that anymore. In fact, Coach Rick said the first penalty, you know, that wasn't so bad, but now let's don't have any more. No more foolish penalties. He was really tough on that, but there was no real acrimonious comment about anything. It was all a positive, uplifting kind of encouragement with the idea you took the second half kickoff against Vandy and went the distance. Let's do it again.
21-17, Georgia leads as we get ready for the second half to get underway. Or before we do that, let's pause for station identification. This is the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network. One thing that jumps out at me, Eric, is third down conversions coming in Florida on 3rd and 6 or less. They had converted 72%. That is an amazing number. Today, they're just 1 out of 4 on third down period.
They're 1 out of 4. We're 5 out of 6. We talked early on about controlling this football game on the offensive side of the ball through time possession. We've held the ball for just over 15 minutes. Florida's had it just under 14 minutes. So time of possession pretty equal, but where we've really held control of the ball game is on third down conversions, us converting 5 out of 6. And as you mentioned, Florida, who's dominated in that category all year long, today only 1 out of 4.
Getting ready for the third quarter to crank up here. Georgia will receive it. Joey Ehas will tee it up on the 30-yard line and kick it. The Gators will kick from left to right, and the Dogs have one man back deep, and that is Asher Allen, and he's standing just inside the Dogs' 5-yard line. 21-17. That's your score at intermission. Here we go, third quarter underway. Ehas gets a boomer, a long end-over-end kick taken almost halfway into the end zone. It's going to be returned out by Allen. Up to the 15 quickly, to the 10, to the near side, cutting and tumbling over at the 30-yard line. A nice return by Asher Allen. Took a bit of a chance running it that far deep in the end zone, running it out that far deep. He was about 4 yards in, but got it up across the 30 to the 31-yard line.
And that's Asher's second big return of the day, setting up the Bulldogs with pretty good field position once again.
So Georgia will work from right to left in their white uniforms and silver breeches. Gators on defense to start the second half, blue tops and white bottoms. We'll break Massaquoi out to the high side and Bailey to the near side. I formation as Marino breaks off the tailback spot, goes in motion. Stafford will pass to Chandler, incomplete at the 35-yard line. Chandler was down on his knees when the ball came in, and he had two men around him as well. So an incomplete pass to start the third quarter for Georgia. It'll bring up second down and 10.
That play was very well covered by the Florida defense. The Florida defense all game long has really been rotating their linebackers strong, and we've had success running weak, running away from our tight end. They've come out, didn't make any adjustments that didn't appear on that first possession.
Bailey to the right, Massaquoi to the left. I formation for Georgia from the 31, second and 10. Handoff to Marino. He comes left across the tackle, behind the tackle rather, across the 35, still driving, and up to the 39-yard line as Marino picks up a hard driving 8 yards on that carry, gets to the 39. It'll be third down and short yardage for Georgia. Good run with plenty of blocking on the near side for Noshawn Marino as A.J. Jones made the stop for Florida.
Yeah, talking about blocking, you want to engage your block and just drive it back. Both Chris Davis and Clint Bowling and Sutherland there attached and got a hold of their guys and just continue to drive all the way down the field, 10 or 15 yards down the field.
Third and 2, Dogs 5 of 6, as Eric told you a few moments ago on third down. We're going to hand it off to Marino. Cuts back. Running room, 45-50 into Gators territory across the 45 and down to the Florida 44-yard line. The pile went left. Marino cut back to the middle of the field and went to the right and then upfield for a big gainer down to the Gator 44 as Jones dragged him down in Florida territory.
And that offensive line of Georgia just collapsed the defensive line for Florida, opening up a huge hole once Noshawn cut it back.
Noshawn carries it into Florida territory, nearing 100 yards on the afternoon. Georgia's going to call a timeout. Stafford slowly walking to the far side of the field to talk with Mark Richt and the Georgia coaches. Timeout, 21-17, Georgia leading Florida, 13:40 to go in quarter number 3. We'll pause for these words on the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network. AJC scoreboard in the ACC. Clemson leading at Maryland 20-3 at the half. NC State 10-3 on Virginia in Raleigh in the second. In the Big Ten, Michigan 13-10 on Minnesota now in the third. And Oregon out west leading Southern Cal 17-10 early in the fourth. Georgia has it first and 10 on the Gator 44-yard line. Chandler and Figgins into the ball game. Two tight end set for Georgia. Marino in the backfield. Stafford in the shotgun. Takes the snap. Going to give it to Marino. Marino to the right side. Straight ahead 40. 35-30. Cuts back. 25-20. 15. 10. 5. Get in there. No. Just shy of the goal line. They're going to spot him out on the 2-yard line.
Scott, that's the same exact play that Noshawn scored on just before the half in a little misdirection play where Noshawn starts off one way, comes back and gets the ball. This time he didn't have to cut back immediately, just followed his blocking through the hole, got up to the second level very, very quickly, and then just took off.
Kyle Jackson was able to run him down from behind just shy of the 2-yard line as Noshawn was angling to the near pylon. And Georgia has it first and goal on the Florida 2. Power formation. Give it to Sutherland. The sledgehammer going to be stacked up at the line of scrimmage for not much of anything, and he may have even been pushed back a little bit. It'll be 2nd and goal for Georgia as Sutherland just ran into a mass of humanity between the hash marks. And they say no gain. And, again, he may have lost a few inches. So it'll be 2nd down and goal from about the 2-yard line. Jason Johnson now into the ball game at tailback along with Chappis and Sutherland up front. Give it to Sutherland again. He goes to the line, hesitates, changes direction, dives in for about a 1.5 yard gain down to the 1-yard line. It's not easy for a guy that bulky to change directions at the line of scrimmage, but that's what Sutherland did as the Dogs gave Marino, just gave him a blow to get Johnson into the ball game. And now Noshan is back in. It's going to be 3rd and goal from the Florida 1. Georgia from right to left trying to add to a 4-point lead. Power I formation with Sutherland and Chappis ahead of Marino. Chappis slides in motion. Play action. Throw it to Sutherland. Wide open. Touchdown. Yes, sir.
Great call there by Mike Bobo. I think the entire stadium thought that Noshan Moreno was going to get that ball. Good fake to him. Sutherland just slips right out into the flat. No one was even close to him. Easy play there for Stafford to make, just getting the ball to him. Sometimes those are the hardest passes in the world to complete when guys are standing wide open, but he put it right on his body. Easy touchdown. Great play call.
27-17 with Kocho to try the point after the snap and the hold and the kick. All good. Georgia leads Florida 28-17. Third quarter, 12:02 to go. Dogs are rocking the joint here in Jacksonville. Still plenty of time to play a little SEC football, though. Let's take a timeout. Pause for these words on the Georgia Bulldogs radio network. Dogs take it 69 yards and 7 plays to open the third quarter with a touchdown, a 1-yard pass from Stafford to the fullback Brandon Sutherland makes it 28-17. 12:02 to go, quarter number 3. Let's go down to the sidelines and Lauren Smith. Lauren.
Scott, before the game, Mike Bobo told me, he says, I'm not going to give up on the running game. So he has really majored on the running game today, and he knew that Marino should have a great day. He is having a great day, and another thing that's happening that the defensive coaches wanted, they wanted the defense to get off the field. So they have had some success at stopping Tebow on 3rd down, and now you see that the game plan is working, and it always works if you get the right kind of execution.
Well, Florida came into the game 2nd in the league in rush defense. They were only giving up 94 yards a game on the ground. Today, Eric Noshan already has 136 yards, his 3rd 100-yard game this season.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit before the game that some of those defensive stats for the University of Florida on the rushing side could be a little misleading because they've been up so many times in so many games this year.
Kocho has it teed up on the 30. Dogs kick from right to left. Moore and James back deep, a high end-over-end kick fielded on the 15 by Brandon James. To the 20, between the hashes, cuts to the near side, running on the 25. Angling towards the sideline, lowers the shoulder and is knocked out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. Brandon James forced out of bounds into the Gators sideline by Akeem Dent. So Florida will have it on their own 33-yard line, now trailing by 11. Georgia leads Florida 28-17. Checking the AJC scoreboard, Nebraska 10-3 on Texas in the 3rd. Maybe they are man enough. Southern Cal now trailing 24-10 against Oregon in the 4th. Harvin and Faison in the ball game, breaking out to the left side, one receiver right, and a direct snap to Harvin in the backfield. He runs straight ahead to the 38-yard line. Tebow broke out, and they snapped it directly to Harvin. And he gained a handful of yards on the play, about 4 yards on the carry. Brings up 2nd down and 4 from the Gators' 38-yard line. Florida moving from left to right. 3 receivers break out to the left side now for Florida. And James breaks out of the backfield, goes in motion. Tebow, quick snap and a quick pass. And right through the hands of Harvin. Is it a lateral? No, the official says incomplete pass. Georgia's defensive coordinator, Willie Martinez, saying that he thought it was a lateral and that was a live ball, but not the case as the official waved it off. Incomplete pass. Harvin had it slip right through his hands, and that'll bring up 3rd down for the Gators.
And a good play there by Marcus Howard, forcing a high throw there from Tebow. Really got up the field quick and got big and got tall to make Tebow have to throw it over him. The Florida offense really struggled in the first half in their empty set. Georgia has got a great game plan, bringing safeties anytime they get into an empty type formation. Florida, their adjustment from halftime, got to an empty formation by motioning out their back from the backfield.
And Percy Harvin, the sophomore from Virginia Beach, is slow to get up. He's being treated by the trainers, or being tended to by the trainers, as C.J. Bird wrapped him up over there on that incomplete pass. And he is he's slow to move. They're having to help him. He's been over. He's standing up. He's been over at the waist, though, and the trainers are looking at him. But he is shaken up on the play, and Georgia will take that opportunity to head to the sideline and discuss things with their coaches. So a timeout on the field right now. Let's pause for these words. Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network. 28-17, Georgia leading Florida. It's 3rd down and 6 for the Gators from their own 38-yard line. Murphy breaks out of the backfield, comes in motion, and settles on the near side. Snap to Tebow in the shotgun. He fires, complete to Murphy, coming across, and it is complete at the 43-yard line, but it's going to be short of the first down. Prince Miller and Rennie Curran making the tackle on the very swift-footed Lewis Murphy, the junior from St. Petersburg. So it's decision time for the Gators now, as they are about a yard shy of the first down. It looks like they may go for it right here on 4th and 1 from their own 43-yard line. Well, this could change the face of the game a little bit more if they don't make it.
It really could. If they don't make it here, it sets Georgia up with tremendous field position.
2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Caldwell comes in motion, in tight on the right side of the line of scrimmage. Give it to Tebow. He tries to go off right tackle, and he does, and gets to the 45-yard line. He got the first down by about a yard with a little bit to spare, as Ellerby was the man that brought him down. Ran behind the tackle and then kind of veered to the outside to pick up the first down, so the Gators keep it alive and keep moving as they work from their own 45. Brandon James in the backfield. Quick lineup for the Gators. 2 receivers to the left side and 1 to the right, as Tebow is in the shotgun. Now just about the entire offense raises up for Florida, looks to the near sideline for the play call. 6 seconds on the play clock. There's the snap. Tebow going to give it to Brandon James off left tackle, and he'll have a couple on the play. He got across the 45, which is the line of scrimmage, and up to about the 47-yard line. Brandon Miller, the Dogs linebacker, and Jarius Wynn making the stop of James. They bring the ball back a little bit. Didn't give him quite the full 2 yards. It'll be 2nd down and a long 8 for Florida.
And for Florida, Percy Harvin came back into the game last play. Percy was a leading rusher in the first half. Right now he's got 48 yards running the football. He's caught 1 pass today.
And he's in the backfield behind Tebow, who's in the shotgun. 2 receivers to the right side, and 1 comes in motion. And they hand it to Harvin, and he goes left side and gets by Prince Miller, 45-40, and out of bounds at the 39-yard line. Harvin, with that great speed, just ran right by Georgia's corner man, Prince Miller, on the far side of the field. Picks up a first down to the Georgia 39-yard line.
Well, Prince Miller was there. His role and responsibility there is just to keep contained. He was actually in pretty good position, but the speed of Harvin just allowed him to get outside and break that containment.
AJC scoreboard 16-2. Connecticut leading South Florida in the 3rd. Nebraska now 17-3 on Texas in the 3rd. Arkansas crushed Florida International 58-10. That's the final. Vanderbilt 24-13 final over Miami of Ohio. Gators moving on the Georgia 38-yard line. Left to right, play action. Tebow will throw it wide open. Faison complete at the 21. Faison towards the goal line and tackled at the 8-yard line. Jared Faison out of Tampa, the sophomore, wide open on the near sideline, just about 6 yards in. Made the catch, then turned downfield and got it down to the Georgia 8-yard line. C.J. Bird and Thomas Flowers bringing him down, but the Gators with a serious threat right here with 9:06 and the clock ticking in the 3rd quarter.
Florida's run that little wheel route a couple of times today, and both times Faison has been wide open.
28-17, Georgia leading Florida. 2 receivers break out left and 1 to the right. Brandon James in the backfield, and they'll bring Caldwell in motion. They'll hand it off to James straight ahead on the option. and James stacked up around the 7-yard line. Cade Weston and Corey Irvin piling up the middle of that line of scrimmage for Georgia. Irvin from Augusta and Weston, the redshirt sophomore with a lot of size, 6'5" and 316 from Red Bank, New Jersey. They'll bring up second down and goal for Florida as they trail by 11.
Having a quarterback like Tebow that can run the ball just makes this Florida team so dangerous, especially in the red zone, because they can do so many different things, which is one of the reasons they've had so much success this year in this area of the field.
Dogs with a nickel package. They bring in Curran with a linebacker as well on this play. Fake it to Harvin. Tebow's going to keep it. Plows straight ahead inside the 5, down to about the 2-yard line. He took a pretty good shot, Rashad Jones, stopping him at the 2, but it will be 3rd and goal now for Florida. We haven't seen Tebow him take off too many times today, probably due to that right shoulder injury. But he kind of lowered the boom that time and took it and got it as far as he could, lowering his shoulder.
Well, he did, and he's been this team's juggernaut. The entire team has really jumped on his shoulder for the entire year. Today really hasn't run the ball all that much.
There's that jump pass formation that they ran last week against Kentucky. Tebow running right behind the line, right behind the offensive line, is going to score as he pushes his way into the end zone. He just ran slowly to the right side, waiting for the blocks to develop, and Tim Tebow breaks the plane and puts 6 more on the scoreboard for the Gators. 28-23 now, with the point after to come. Tebow with a 2-yard run for the touchdown, and here's Joey Ehas for the point after as the Gators close the gap. There's the snap and the hold, and the kick. It is good. So the touchdown and extra point make it a 28-24 Georgia lead over Florida with 7:22 to go in the 3rd quarter. Timeout. Take a quick SEC timeout here on the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network. 11th rushing touchdown of the year for Florida quarterback Tim Tebow as the Gators draw a little bit closer on a 10-play, 66-yard drive that took 4 minutes and 40 seconds off the clock. 28-24, Georgia leading, 7:22 to go in quarter number 3. And if you're looking for the perfect Christmas present for the Bulldog in your life, then we've got it for you. It's Larry Munson's Greatest Calls, the Richt Era. It's coming out on DVD just in time for the holidays. All the great calls over the last 7 years from Larry, the voice of the Bulldogs. You can pre-order today at GeorgiaDogs.com, and you'll have Larry Munson's Greatest Calls, the Richt Era, in your stocking by Christmas. Go to GeorgiaDogs.com and order today. Well, the Gators just went right down the field, 66 yards, 10 plays, able to convert a 4th down, which proved to be a key play in that possession, Z.
It was. The other big play was a little wheel route that they ran to Faison, who's actually beat us on that same route a couple of times today. Both times just been wide open in the flat, kind of running vertically up the field. Tebow's done a good job of delivering that pass. So 2 big plays there, and then Tebow started to run the ball a little bit once they got down into the red zone, but you can tell that his shoulder is still bothering him. Even running off the field, it looked like it was hanging a little bit, which I think is what's keeping him from running the ball a whole lot more than he has been today.
With that touchdown on the ground by Tim Tebow, he now has 11 on the year. That's just 3 shy of Emmitt Smith's record of 14. How about that if a quarterback has your rushing touchdown single-season record? That's impressive stuff. Joey Ehas has it teed up on the 30 for the Gators as they'll kick from left to right, and Asher Allen standing on his 5. There's the kick straight down the middle of the field. Asher shifting to his right a little bit, catches it on the 4, straight ahead to the 10, to the 15, cuts outside to the 20, and he's brought down right there. A good tackle on special teams by the Gators as Asher Allen is stopped by Justin Williams, on just shy of the 20-yard line, maybe by a couple of inches, but they'll call it 1st and 10 from the 20 for Georgia as the Bulldogs lead by 4, 28-24 here midway through the 3rd quarter. Dogs break out of the huddle. They send Massaquoi to the near side and Bailey to the far side. Noshawn Marino with 136 yards on 20 carries is the tailback. Stafford under center. Chappis the fullback. We slide the tight end Chandler in motion. Play action fake. Pass over the middle, complete at the 35, still on his feet. Bailey into Florida territory at the 40 and knocked down at the 36-yard line. There's a flag down back on the Georgia 39-yard line. But a long pass completion from the 20 all the way down to the Gator 36-yard line for Sean Bailey. Let's see if it's coming back or not. The penalty, again, back on Georgia's side of the 50 at the 39-yard line. Looks like it is coming back.
I'm not sure what this flag is. It's thrown downfield all the way on the opposite side of the field from where the play took place.
The officials are conferring at the 45-yard line. They called illegal procedure on Georgia. Well, we'll get the explanation here, hopefully, in just a second.
Not enough men on the line of scrimmage against the offense. Penalty, 5 yards. Down remain first.
All right. Well, they had to think about that one for a while because that flag was slow to come out, and then it was dropped at the 39 when the line of scrimmage was the 20. So the guys on the line of scrimmage apparently didn't see it that way, but one of the back judges dropped the flag way downfield. So wipe out the long gainer for Georgia and back up the Bulldogs 5 yards on their own 15 now. It's 1st and 15. Dogs run out of the I, Massaquoi to the right and Bailey to the left, and the handoff goes to Noshawn, tries to go right tackle, but he is hit behind the line of scrimmage at the 14-yard line, so it's going to be a loss of 1 on the play for Marino, his 21st carry of the ball game. Second down, 16 to go for Georgia. Well, that 5-yard penalty may prove to be a large play in this ball game.
Well, it really is, but that 5-yard penalty really was a penalty more in lines of a 30 or 40-yard penalty because you take back that huge play that Georgia had and push them back 5 additional yards.
Shotgun snap to Stafford. They throw it to Jason Johnson on the far side. Johnson catches it, turns and runs to the 20-yard line. So a gain of 6 on that play. It looked like it was going to be a screen, but he only had one blocker out on the far side of the field. Jason Johnson now checking back out of the ball game. Cunningham and Doe making the stop on the former Georgia walk-on. Got it up just barely across the 20, so the Dogs are back just beyond the original line of scrimmage. Going to be 3rd down and a long 9 for the Dogs. 5:38 to go in the third quarter. Georgia leading it by 4, 28-24 over Florida. Bailey's to the right, Durham and Henderson to the left. We throw it on a middle screen to Bailey. Bailey coming across is wrapped up again behind the line of scrimmage. Bailey came in from his position out on the far side, running straight down the line of scrimmage, caught the pass, and was wrapped up for a loss of about 3 yards back at the 17-yard line. So that 5-yard penalty really cost Georgia as the offense couldn't get anything going after that. It's 4th down and long, and the Dogs will have to punt with Brian Mims. First punt of the afternoon for Georgia, and Mims needs a good one right here, no pressure. Dogs run their gunners in tight. They bring everybody in tight now, nobody out on the edges, as Florida stacks up 10 men at the line of scrimmage. There's the snap, and the kick is away by 41. James to the far side, trying to cut up field. May have been a block in the back. There comes the flag. James knocked out of bounds at the Gator 48, and that one should back up a little bit more. 43-yard punt by Brian Mims and a 7-yard return. But the penalty is going to hurt Florida a little bit more. Should be 10 more yards back for the block in the back by the Gators.
And Scott, that penalty there on the first offensive play that Georgia had last series really took Georgia out of some of the rhythm that they were in, and a little loss of momentum there. The 3rd down play.
During the return, illegal block in the back against the receiving team. Penalty 10 yards from the spot of the foul. 1st down.
That 3rd down play that Georgia had, the entire Florida defense was up in the line of scrimmage and just happened to drop back right at the snap of the football. So we threw a screen into a lot of guys dropping back soft. Good thing here on the punt that we get the penalty that pushes them back a little bit. Important stand here for the Georgia defense.
Caldwell will break out to the left for the Gators as the lone receiver to the high side of the field, and trips to the right. And Brandon James in the backfield standing next to Tebow, who's in the shotgun. 1st and 10. Tebow takes the snap. Oh! He has his clock cleaned at the 25-yard line by Marcus Howard, who came from the defensive end position and blindsided the left-hander. Sack number 5 on the day and dropped for a loss back on the 26.
Yeah, and Scott, that sack number 5 today matches the number of sacks that this Florida offense has given up all year long. We've matched it in one afternoon.
Sizable loss for Florida. Second down and 18 to go now. Back on the 26. Boy, that'll take the wind out of your sails. Marcus Howard with the sack. Gators up to the line in the shotgun. Empty backfield for Florida. Tebow stands in the shotgun. There's the snap. In the pocket, pump fakes, now will fire, and it is in and out of the hands of Cornelius Ingram, who had it at the 38, right in his hands and dropped it. And there were really no white shirts within 3 or 4 yards of him, so he had a little bit of running room, but Ingram drops a pass. The Gators have dropped a handful of passes today, Z.
Well, they have, and I'll tell you, we've got Tebow moving around a little bit, looked a little unsure of himself in the pocket, set up, delivered a good ball there, but not as comfortable as he's looked.
And 4.
There was a flag on the play, but it was declined. Who was that? Was that on? That was on Florida, obviously. And Marcus Washington got a good hit on Tim Tebow as he let go of that last pass. So, as you said, Eric, the Dogs are getting some really, really good pressure on the Florida quarterback, and he's having to think about that as he's standing in the pocket. Now it's 3rd down and an 18 yards to go for the Gators from their own 26. Moore in the backfield, breaks out on the left side. Tebow will pass, and it is complete at the 40, and a man breaks the tackle and gets the first down. Holy smokes, we had him short of the first down at the 42-yard line. Prince Miller couldn't hang on, and Caldwell broke a tackle and got the first down on 3rd and 18 up to the Florida 45-yard line. Boy, that's a backbreaker.
It is. That's exactly right. Those are the kind of plays that break your back. We did exactly what we wanted them to do, made them throw the ball in front of the chains, then just miss the tackle. You miss a tackle against good players and good teams, it's going to hurt you.
Marcus Washington, the linebacker, made the tackle after Miller missed it. James in the backfield. Gators stay in the shotgun. Tebow from the far hash will fake the handoff, stand in the pocket, pressure, and we wrap him up again. Holy smokes, sack number 6. Jarius Wynn gobbled him up. Back on the 36-yard line. Another sack for Georgia's front four. Wow. These guys are playing the game of their season so far.
And Florida was trying to go right back after Prince Miller, and after missing the tackle that last play, he did a great job of staying on his guy, providing good coverage, making Tebow hold the ball just a little bit until that Georgia rush could get to him. So good job there by Prince Miller.
Jeremy Lomax came in front and forced Tebow to step back, and when he did and tried to go back and throw, Jarius gobbled him up for another lost yardage play. It's 2nd down, 19 to go. And Florida's going to call a time.
Florida, first timeout of the half.
And there's a flag on the far side of the field, but the question is, did they get the timeout before the flag dropped? We'll see if they sort it out. They pick it up, wave it off. Yeah. Oh, they've dropped the flag for a sideline warning for Georgia, apparently. So a sideline warning and a Florida timeout. Clock stopped at 2:29 to go, 3rd quarter. Georgia 28, Florida 24. Let's take a quick SEC timeout on the Georgia Bulldogs radio network. Dogs with a 4-point lead late in the 3rd. Let's pause for station identification on the Bulldogs radio network.
This is Lauren Smith on the sideline with Tony Gilbert, formerly of Georgia, now with the Jaguars. A lot of intensity in this game. Can you feel the intensity on the Georgia sideline?
I definitely can feel it. Feel it from the players, coaches, fans. It's just it's an intense game, and we just playing to win this game.
And right now, Georgia is winning the game. Just got to hang on for another 17 and a half minutes. Florida, 2nd down and long, 2nd and 19 from their 36. Snapping the shotgun to Tebow. He fires to the left. It is complete at the 44. Wrapped up. Did he fumble the football? Georgia says they have the football. The official is waving. Was it an incompletion or a fumble? What was the call? Apparently it's an incomplete pass, and they'll go back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, it looked like from here that he had control of the football.
Take a look at a replay. Prince Miller and then Rashad Jones trying to strip him, and Caldwell left the ball on the ground. But they call it an incomplete pass. 3rd down, 19. Gators on their own 36-yard line. Trailing Georgia by 4, 28-24. Tebow in the shotgun, 2 receivers right and 2 to the left. Snap to Tebow. Fakes the pass to the right, now goes down the middle. He's got a man, he overthrew him. Holy smokes, he had Ingram wide open, running down the seam, and he left it high, and it went sailing over the outstretched arms of Cornelius Ingram, who was 6'4" when he puts that arm out. Boy, you know how high he overthrew that pass.
Let me tell you, if he catches that, that's 6 points. There's no question about it. Georgia goes to cover 2 after the last 3rd and long. They were man-to-man and obviously gave up the first down. Go to cover 2 there. Tebow does a good job of reading it, and Ingram was just wide open.
Oh, Dogs catch a break there. Chaz Henry, the punter, back to kick it away for Florida. A wobbly kick to the near side, fielded by Flowers at the 25. Cuts back to the 30, juking and trying to cut up field, and he is tackled at the 33-yard line. 39-yard kick and an 8-yard return by Thomas Flowers, who again is wearing number 6 for Craig Lumpkin today. Lumpkin, of course, with the knee injury out until a possible bowl game, and there is a flag on the field back on the Florida 38-yard line, and they called procedure against the Gators. Let's go down to Lauren Smith now for this Cook's Pest Control sideline report. Lauren.
You might have seen the offense really sort of sprint on the field. They didn't jog out casually because their coach, Stacy Searles, was jogging and jumping and encouraging them on the sideline before they went in. He said, no, we got to take this ball all the way. So they are getting great motivation, all of the Georgia players, from the coaches here on the sideline today.
And that illegal procedure penalty on Florida tacked on to the end of the run for Georgia, so the Dogs pick up 5 more. They spot the ball at the 38. Dogs on their own 38, moving right to left. 2 minutes, 3 seconds to go in quarter number 3, and Georgia up by 4. Henderson and Bailey split out to the right side. Dogs in the shotgun, going to hand it to Marino. Marino spins away from a tackler in the backfield across the 40, breaks another tackle across the 45, up to near the 48-yard line. An amazing run for about 9 yards by Noshawn Marino. They may give him 10 on the play. Jermaine Cunningham, the defensive end from Stone Mountain, making the stop for Florida.
He is just flat out something to watch. Every time he touches it, it has a chance of going all the way, but he does a great job of making people miss. He's an electric player when he has that football in his hands.
He gets the first down, give him 10 on the carry. Dogs close to their own 49-yard line. Play action fake, and Stafford's going to be sacked back on the 39-yard line. As, boy, that play really took a long time to develop. A lot of fakes. They faked it into the line and then faked an end around to Henderson, and by all of that time, Stafford was gobbled up back at the 39-yard line. So a 10-yard loss. Ryan Stamper, the linebacker, with the sack of Matthew Stafford, will bring up 2nd down and 20 yards to go. Got to get it back. Dogs send 2 men to the left and 1 to the right. Wilson and Massaquoi to the near side. Bailey's the man up high. 1 back in the backfield. That's Noshawn Marino, who has 146 yards on 22 carries today. Stafford under center, going to drop back and pass. He has a man far side, incomplete. He had Bailey breaking down the far sideline, and he was open. But Stafford led him too much as Bailey falling down and diving, trying to catch the pass, still out of his reach, incomplete. Will bring up 3rd down and long, 3rd and 20 for Georgia.
Yeah, not a bad thought there by Stafford. Florida dropped back into cover 2. We just had one guy going up, and there's a soft spot right there on the sideline, but with no other guy going vertical to hold the safety, you had to drill it in there. He did that, just missed him by a little bit, but not a bad thought by Stafford at all.
D'Amico Goodman in the game. He breaks out to the right side, the lone receiver there. Durham and Massaquoi to the near side, split backfield. Stafford in the shotgun, dumps a screen pass off to Sutherland behind the line of scrimmage right side, and the Gators are all over it as they tackle Sutherland at the 39-yard line, so no gain on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Just a play there to take care of the football and hopefully get a little field position out of this exchange and push Florida back.
Dogs will line up and punt from their own 38-yard line. Brian Mims, as we're about 5 seconds from the end of the third quarter. It looks like Georgia will let the clock tick down to 0, and that's going to be the end of quarter number 3. And the good news is Georgia leads Florida by a score of 28-24. The Dogs will punt it away when we come back. End of quarter number 3. Now let's pause for this timeout on the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network. We go to the fourth quarter. Georgia leading Florida by 4. Checking the AJC scoreboard. Hideous uniforms. Oregon beats Southern Cal 24-17. That's the final. The Hideous Ducks got it done. Connecticut 19-9 on South Florida. They're in the fourth. Clemson laying one on Maryland 23-3. They are in the third. Time now for this game summary, sponsored by Regions Bank, proud sponsor of today's game and a simpler way to bank. Georgia led by 4 at halftime, 21-17. They still lead by 4, each team with a touchdown in that third quarter. Georgia with a 1-yard touchdown pass to Brandon Sutherland, and Tim Tebow with a 2-yard run for Florida, 28-24. One of the big stories today, Noshawn Marino, the redshirt freshman, 22 carries, 146 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Another one of the big stories, Tim Tebow sacked, 6 times now? He's been held to minus 24 yards rushing today.
I think we've actually gotten to him 7 times, and you can really see him a little bit edgy right now, overthrowing some passes that we haven't seen him do earlier in the year, and moving out of the pocket, a little bit of some happy feet, which for Tim Tebow is really not normal, because he typically just stands in that pocket and delivers good passes, but we're getting after him pretty good, and when we're getting to him, we are laying some pretty solid hits on him as well.
You got that right. Georgia lines up in punt formation from its own 38-yard line on 4th down. Mims takes the snap, gets the punt away. Not a great kick by Bryan as it hits on the Florida 34, takes a bit of a bulldog roll, and then dies in that sandy turf right on the 31-yard line. Just a 30-yard kick, no return, but only 30 yards on the kick. Looked like he may have gotten that one off the side of his foot. It was kind of a wobbly, ugly-looking thing, but the Gators will have it 1st and 10. Here as we get the fourth quarter underway from their own 31. Florida moving from right to left now as we view it from the press box, and Georgia leading it by 4, 28-24.
Well, Scott, those are the hidden yards that you really don't think about after the game, but during the game, those kind of plays are hugely important. Instead of that's 20 extra yards that potentially we could have had in field position that we lose with the punt that's not as good as we want.
Handoff to Harvin out of the shotgun. Harvin changes directions, comes to the middle of the field, then goes wide right and is tripped up at the 36-yard line after a gain of about 7 on the play. C.J. Bird and Rashad Jones making the stop on the far side of the field. We almost had him in the backfield. Geno Atkins grasping at his legs. Couldn't get to him, however. 2nd down, 5 yards to go, they call it. They spot it just across the Gators' 35-yard line. Harvin in the backfield along with Tebow, who's in the shotgun. Now steps up to the line of scrimmage and calls the play with 12 seconds on the play clock. 4-man front for Georgia. Snap to Tebow. He runs to the near side, pitches it on the option to Harvin. He's got running room, 40, 45, 50. Still on his feet, spinning, and driven down by Rashad Jones at the Georgia 45-yard line, but a sizable gain for Percy Harvin as he went from the 36 of Florida to the Georgia 43.
Florida there caught us in a blitz when we brought the Sam backer, so Miller came up the field pretty strong right at Tebow. Easy read for Tebow just to pitch it out to Harvin, then nobody's there to lay a hand on Harvin until he's 15, 20 yards down the field.
Florida has led once today. It's 17-14. Georgia leads it by 4 right now. Harvin breaks out to the far side this time. And Tebow steps back into the shotgun with a man behind him, and that's Brandon James. 4-man front for Georgia. They hand it to James, breaks out a left tackle, running upfield to the 35, and chunked out of bounds into the Gators sideline by Rashad Jones again. They will spot him down. It appears to be down to the 33-yard line. A 1st down for Florida on back-to-back plays for the Gators as they bite off a couple of big chunks of yardage and are moving towards the end zone, trailing by 4, 13:23 to go in the fourth quarter. 1st and 10 Florida on Georgia's 33, moving right to left. Harvin breaks out to the right side. The lone receiver in that direction. Tebow in the shotgun, stands back on his 38. He's got 3 men in the backfield standing to his left. Tebow fakes the run. He'll fire it to the far corner for Harvin. They battle for it, but the pass is about 10 yards over the head of Harvin and incomplete. Prince Miller providing the coverage on the far side of the field, and he had Harvin covered up pretty good.
Yeah, he did. Good job there at coverage. He had Rashad Jones back there with him, providing a little bit of help. What you're starting to see right now, though, is this Florida offensive line is actually doing a better job than they've done all game of providing some protection and opening up some gaps in the running game. We need to get that defensive line back where they're penetrating and getting upfield on Tebow.
2nd and 10 for Florida. Dogs in a nickel package. Tebow in the shotgun. Going to hand it off to Caldwell. End around, running far side. And we wrap him up at the 35-yard line. Rennie Curran, the linebacker, freshman out of Brookwood High School in Snellville, sprinted towards Caldwell and made a nice open field wrapping up tackle at the 35 for a loss of 2 yards on that play. It's going to be 3rd and 12 for the Gators.
Well, it looked like Rennie was just shot out of a cannon coming over from his will linebacker position, for making a great play at a huge time.
3rd and 12 Gators on the Georgia 35-yard line. Big play here with Georgia up by 4. 3 receivers to the left and 1 to the right for Florida. Brandon James in the backfield. Tebow in the shotgun. There's the snap. Tebow stands in the pocket. Will throw to the right side, and it is caught by Caldwell at the 25-yard line. Andre Caldwell, the senior from Tampa, makes the catch, but short of the first down by about 1.5 yards, almost 2 yards. It'll be 4th down and 2 yards to go, they'll say, for Florida, and it's decision time for the Gators. They've already kicked 1 field goal today from 43 yards. Doesn't look like they want to try one from a little bit closer in.
You couldn't have drawn that play up better on either side of the ball. Perfectly covered, good defense, but that ball was so well thrown, put it on the outside shoulder where only Tebow's receiver could catch it. Really well executed play on both ends of the ball.
Unbalanced line to the left with Hernandez the tight end. They hand it off inside to Caldwell on the end around, and we stop him behind the line of scrimmage. We stop the Gators on 4th down, a loss of 2 back at the 28. Did Rennie Curran make the stop again? He did. Battle shot in straight ahead, and Rennie Curran came in there to tackle Andre Caldwell, who came from the top side, got the handoff from Tebow, and was dropped in the backfield for a loss. It's Georgia's football, 1st and 10 the other way. Timeout on the field. Georgia up by 4, 11:41 to go in the game. Let's pause for these words. Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network. 28-24, Georgia leading Florida, 4th quarter. Down to the sidelines, and Lauren Smith for Cook's Pest Control sideline report. Lauren, take it away.
Scott, Dr. David Saylor is one of the team doctors, and I were talking just before that play. You know, it looks like we've lost a little bit of our sideline intensity. Well, when Rennie Curran made that tackle to stop Florida, that sideline intensity came back. Now, let's see if the offense can move the ball for the first time since the opening series.
Let's check the AJC scoreboard. NC State leading Virginia at the half, 20-17. Nebraska in the 4th quarter up on Texas, 17-6. Auburn and Ole Miss in the 1st. They are scoreless. South Florida trailing Connecticut 19-12 in the 4th. Michigan 34, Minnesota 10. They are in the 4th quarter. Here it is Georgia 28 and Florida 24. Dogs just came up with a huge 4th down stop on 4th and short for the Gators. Rennie Curran with that key play to drop Andre Caldwell in the backfield. And the Dogs will have the ball, 1st and 10 from their own 28, going from left to right. They'll line up in the I formation with Noshawn Marino at tailback. Sutherland the fullback. Chandler goes in motion, slides across the line, behind the line of scrimmage. Handoff to Marino. Nothing doing, right tackle, kicks it out a little bit more, heads to the sideline and tries to cut upfield, gets up to the 31-yard line. That was Chappis at the fullback and not Sutherland. And helping to try and spring Noshawn Marino for some positive yards. And Noshawn did turn it in to a bit of a gain. Is there a flag down? The officials are discussing something at about the 31-yard line. I didn't see a flag on the play. Well, I do see one now. There's a flag on the far side of the field. Dropped at the 38.
After the play, dead ball, personal foul. Number 4 on the defense. Will be added to the end of the run. Automatic. 1st down.
The personal foul on Wandy Pierre-Louis from Naples. Must be Naples, Italy. It doesn't sound like a Naples, Florida name. No, he's Haitian. I was just kidding. Pierre-Louis, who had an interception earlier in the ball game, a 25-yard pick and return for the score, picks up a 15-yard penalty right there. That puts the ball on the 47-yard line for Georgia. Dogs lead it by 4. 2 receivers to the left. Play action fake for Stafford. He's going to go deep, far sideline. Henderson. He caught it! He caught it! Touchdown! Holy smokes! He caught it right over the top of a Gator receiver. That was Wandy Pierre-Louis, who got toasted by Mikey Henderson. He just got embarrassed because Mikey at 5'8" or 5'9" went over the top of him and brought that baby in.
Oh, my goodness, what a great play. You know, Florida has started to creep up bit by bit. Coach Bobo saw it right away and just took advantage of it. And Henderson did a great job of pressing inside to create a little bit of space for him and just took it away.
Extra point attempt by Kocho is right between the pipes. Dogs lead it 35-24. Giving this crowd a little bit more juice here in the fourth quarter. 11:03 to play in Jacksonville, and Georgia's got the lead back up to 11. Timeout. Let's pause for these words on the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network. Matthew Stafford has his first 3-touchdown pass game of his career. Stafford with his third throw and another bomb as they go deep to Mikey Henderson. 53 yards on the scoring strike. 2 plays, 72 yards. Those are the numbers on the drive for Georgia as the Dogs lead it now 35-24. And for Mikey Henderson, another huge touchdown reception. Of course, he had the game winner against Alabama as we go down to the sidelines and Lauren Smith. Lauren?
Well, we hadn't heard from Mikey Henderson lately since the Alabama game, but he's like a pinch hitter delivering in the clutch. That was a hit, delivering with a home run, by the way. So that was a big play. But now you can imagine how much the defensive coaches are saying to the defense, you've got to stop them. Let the offense kill some clock. This is a very critical series.
Mikey Henderson now, that was his first catch of the day for 53 yards. Muhammad Massaquoi has 1 catch for 84 yards. Those are the 2 big, long, deep plays for Georgia today as the Bulldogs have scored 5 touchdowns on the Gators and lead at 35-24. Moore and James back deep for Florida as Kocho puts his foot into it from left to right. James catches it over the shoulder on the 4, turns and runs upfield to the 20, to the 25. He's got a hole, 40, 45. Dogs trying to drag him down. He's still on his feet in Georgia territory at the Bulldog 45-yard line. That's exactly what the Dogs didn't need, but it just happened.
What a great play there by Brandon Kocho. He's a safety on that play, and he held his ground. He's got one of the best returners in the league coming after him. Awful lot of speed and quickness coming after him. Held his ground, did just enough to slow him up.
Until Bird and Dent could get to James and make the stop. So here goes the Georgia defense again, which has played a tremendous game today. But once more with their backs against the wall, 10:51 to go in the contest, and having to hold their ground as Florida starts possession on the Bulldog 44, driving from right to left.
And it really feels like all game long this Florida offense has had the ball right where they've got it right now on our side of the field, about the 40 or 45-yard line.
Shotgun for the Gators. They fake it to Harbin. Tebow still got it. Now he throws to Harbin, wide open in the right flat. Harbin complete. Harbin inside the 20, down to the close to the Georgia 10. He was wide open. They faked it to him in the backfield, and he ran uncontested on the far side of the field. And then Tebow just made an easy lob, and just like that, Harbin is all the way down to the Georgia 10-yard line.
Well, that play looked easy. That's really a very good read, though, by Tebow. On those kind of plays, you sometimes get caught looking downfield. He actually went to his third guy in his progression there, who was obviously wide open.
How about an interception or a fumble by the Gators here as Florida threatens first and goal, or first and 10 on the 10. Give it to Harbin. Harbin running wide side, down inside the 5, and going to be forced out of bounds by Rashad Jones on the far side of the field. They spot it on the 3-yard line. Percy Harvin putting the Gators on his back right now as the Gators have the ball inside the Bulldog 5 and trying to answer Georgia's touchdown just seconds ago. It'll be 2nd down and 2 from the Bulldog 3. They can get a 1st down just inside the 1. They're not really thinking 1st down here. They're thinking touchdown. Tebow in the shotgun. Snap to Tebow. He's going to run it straight ahead. Now kicks to the outside. Loses a mouthpiece, and the Dogs wrap him up at the line of scrimmage. You can see an orange mouthpiece come flying out. And the Dogs hit Tebow with Quentin Banks and Rashad Jones outside the far hash, right about the line of scrimmage. So he didn't get anything on the play. Now they might start thinking about a 1st down. It's 3rd and 2 from the 3. Clock ticking at 9:47. Georgia leading by 11 in the 4th quarter, and
timeout.
A timeout.
Georgia, 2nd timeout of the half.
Dogs have 1 to go with 9:43 to play. Timeout. 35-24, Georgia leading 9th-ranked Florida. Let's pause for these words on the Georgia Bulldogs radio network. AJC scoreboard, Auburn with the lead on Ole Miss 7-0 in the 1st. Connecticut 19-15 leading South Florida in the 4th. Clemson 30-10 on Maryland early in the 4th. Arizona 48, Washington 41 late in the 4th. 3rd and 2 for Florida on Georgia's 3-yard line. The Gators trail the Bulldogs 35-24. Shotgun for Tebow. They bring a man in motion behind the line of scrimmage and will fake it to Harvin, and Tebow will run straight ahead, and he gets into the end zone for the touchdown. Bird tackled him, but it was too late as Tebow just ducked his head and lowered his shoulder and ran straight into the end zone, and the Gators have a man slow to get up. One of their offensive linemen, Marquise Pouncey, a freshman, but teammate helps him up if he stays in the ballgame. He looks a little cuckoo right now. He's kind of staggering back towards the huddle. Not sure if he's got all his faculties at this point, but the Gators score a touchdown, and now it's a 5-point Georgia lead.
And the Gators right now are going to go for 2 to try to cut this to a field goal lead for the Bulldogs.
So they spot it on the 3. 2-point conversion coming up for Florida. It's 35-30. Georgia leading the Gators after the Tebow touchdown. Another rushing touchdown, his 12th of the season. Shotgun. Tebow takes it, rolls to his left. Looking in the end zone, will throw. Incomplete. Incomplete. The 2-point conversion fails. Tried to get it to Caldwell in the end zone, but nothing doing. So the Dogs lead by 5, 35-30, with 9:40 to go in the ballgame. Timeout on the field. Georgia with a 5-point lead. Take a quick SEC timeout on the Georgia Bulldogs radio network. 44-yard drive for Florida, set up by the terrific return by Brandon James, and a 3-yard touchdown run for Tim Tebow makes it 35-30. The 2-point try no good for Florida. Dogs still lead by 5 with 9:40 to go in the game, and down to the sidelines we go, and Lauren Smith.
Scott, the Georgia defense is obviously tired, but they remain resigned to the task ahead. They remain energized. There's a lot of energy on the sideline, but the defense is tired. Nothing could be finer than for the Georgia offense now to move the ball, kill some clock, hopefully get another score and put it out of reach.
You got that right. We need to control some clock right here with 9:40 to go, leading by 5. Checking the AJC scoreboard, Nebraska 17, Texas 12 early in the 4th. And Michigan defeated Minnesota today 34-10. And in case you missed it earlier today, Kentucky lost to Mississippi State. And tonight, Tennessee and South Carolina will play. And if Georgia can hang on and win this ball game, then it will be a 2-way tie for first with either the Bulldogs and either South Carolina or Tennessee. Joey Ehas will tee it up on the Gators' 30-yard line to the right of the 50. A little bit of a breeze kicking up here at Jacksonville Municipal Stadium on the banks of the St. Johns River. Back deep for Georgia, standing on his own 5, is Asher Allen. 35-30, Georgia leading Florida. Ehas approaches it and booms one, end over end and deep. Lands on the 1. Asher Allen to the 10, straight ahead to the 15, cuts away from a man, 20, cuts back again, 25, across the 30, and tackled right there at the 31-yard line.
That's a good start to this possession for the University of Georgia to get us some good field position, a little bit of breathing room. This drive, maybe the most important drive we've had all day long. We need to get some points. You have to assume with Florida's offense, and as powerful as they are, that they're going to come down and put points up on the board. You want to at least, at the very minimum, take a lot of time off the clock right here and ideally put up some points to widen your lead.
With the ball on the 32, Dogs have it 1st and 10, I formation, Marino the tailback. Goodman to the near side, and Massaquoi to the far side. Snap to Stafford, gives it to Marino, spins at the line of scrimmage, going left and hit right at the 30, and dropped for a loss of 2 on the play as Noshan tried to go left side, spun away from one man but got it wrapped up by another. Brandon Spikes, the sophomore linebacker from Shelby, North Carolina, in on the stop for the Gators. So it'll be 2nd down and 12 for Georgia as the clock ticks nearing the 9-minute mark. Noshan, first half had 19 touches. In the second half, he's only had 7. He's got 148 yards in the game. Play action for Stafford in the pocket, going deep. And it is incomplete, broken up by the Gators at the Florida 30. Pass was intended for Muhammad Massaquoi, but he was double covered on the near sideline. Hayden and Joyner, the corner and the safety, breaking up the pass as it stops the clock. The incompletion does with 8:43 to go.
Well, Scott, he was double covered. We threw that right into cover two. So both the safety and the cornerback were there, and we were late throwing it, so it turned into a pretty dangerous pass. The vertical guy we had going down the middle of the field actually was open late on that play, but pretty good coverage there by the Gator defense.
Durham and Henderson right, and Bailey to the left. Marino, the lone setback. Stafford in the shotgun, gives hand signals. Snap. Stafford in the pocket, throws, complete to Bailey, twisting. He catches it at the 46. And gets it into Gator territory at the Florida 49, make it the 48-yard line. Bailey with a nice catch and spinning his way into Florida territory, a 1st down for Georgia.
Really good route there by Bailey, just a skinny post right in front of the cornerback that was on top of him. It looks like the Gators blew a coverage there a little bit. Didn't get people out to the positions that they needed to, and Stafford and Bailey took advantage of it.
1st and 10, Georgia from the Florida 48-yard line. I formation for the Dogs. Stafford toss sweep to Marino, left side. Marino picking his way. He's got a hole up to the 40. Carries a man down to the 36-yard line. He carried about 3 men, as a matter of fact, as Noshan Marino continues to run hard and picks up a 1st down for Georgia.
Well, go ahead, Noshan. Show him what you're all about. He continues to get back up even after touching the ball 24 times, running the ball a couple of catches. Gets up with a lot of energy. He's running just as hard now as he did first time he touched the ball all game. Show him what you're all about, Noshan.
Fernando Velasco, the center, and Sutherland, the fullback, leading the way with key blocks as Marino picked up another chunk. 1st and 10, Georgia from the Florida 36-yard line. I formation for the Dogs. Stafford gives it to Noshan. Marino stacked up at the 35-yard line and will be brought down right there, as that time he couldn't spin away from trouble and could not find a gap to run through, as the Gators stack it up after a gain of a little more than a yard. Ryan Stamper and Clint McMillan, linebacker and a defensive tackle, making the stop of Marino. 7:24 to go and the clock ticking. Dogs trying to preserve a 5-point lead, actually trying to add to it on this possession. 2nd down and a long 8 for Georgia. They move from left to right. 2 receivers to the right side and 2 tight ends in the ball game, Chandler and Figgis. Snap in the shotgun to Stafford. He throws to Figgins. It is complete on the far side of the field at the 28, and Bruce Figgins on his feet to the 24-yard line, where he's finally brought down. Another 1st down for Georgia. Bruce Figgins with the catch, and they move the chains again. The clock stops at 6:59.
Yeah, that's a good read right there by Stafford. University of Florida had everything covered deep. Stafford did a good job coming down to his check down, delivered the ball right on the money, allowing Figgins to run after he caught the football.
First catch for Figgins today, only his 2nd reception of the season. Marino, or rather Massaquoi, breaks out to the left side, and Goodman to the right. I formation. Jason Johnson, the tailback in this formation. And Stafford will hand it to Johnson. Johnson cuts loose left side, breaks a tackle across the 20, down near the Gator 15-yard line. They'll move it back a little bit, but Jason Johnson breaking a tackle and showing that he can carry the football as he gets it down to the Florida 17-yard line.
Good strong run right there. And past couple of times we've run to the weak side. Florida has brought a strong safety and a strong side linebacker blitz. Really trying. Those are run blitzes. Really trying to stuff the run and get this ball back for that Gator offense.
Gain of 7.5 or 8 on the play. Marino back in at tailback for Georgia. And A.J. Bryant into the ball game. Breaks out on the far side of the field. D'Amico Goodman to the near side. I formation on second and short. Toss sweep to Noshan left side. Not a lot of running room. He waits for the blockers to fall in front of him and then steps over them and picks up about 1.5 yards, 2 yards up to the 15-yard line. Bodies were falling in front of him, and then Marino stopped and waited and then gained what he could. It's going to be third and short. Third about 1/2 yard from the Florida 15-yard line as Georgia tries to add to a 5-point lead.
Well, Florida continues to put 8 guys in the box right now. We're one-on-one outside. We've got opportunities for some quick slants, still some ball control things if we need it.
2 tight ends in, Sutherland the fullback. Figgins goes in motion behind the line of scrimmage. We'll give it to Noshan, left side. Noshan 10, Noshan 5, Noshan 4. First and 10, first and goal. Georgia, as Noshan Marino had a huge hole on the left side and gets it inside the Gator 5-yard line as Tony Joyner, the safety from Haines City, brought him down.
Well, boy, when you've got number 24 in the backfield there, you just keep giving him the football. Let him go do what he's been doing all afternoon.
Remarkable performance tonight by Noshan Marino. Chris Davis with a blocking on that side of the line of scrimmage to open up the hole. Marino now 28 carries and 174 yards on the ground. I formation for Georgia. First and goal from the Gator 4. Figgins in motion to the near side. Stafford gives it to Special K. Trying to fight his way for yardage. He gets down to the 3-yard line and is stopped right there. Clint Bowling and Chester Adams trying to open up a hole for him, but not a lot of running room. He gains a yard on the play. It'll be second and goal from the Florida 3. 4:19 to go in the ball game. Clock ticking. Just a little more than 4 minutes. Dogs eating up some clock and threatening to score and add to a 5-point lead, 35-30. Moving from left to right, it's second down and goal from the 3. Stafford under center. Power formation with Chappis in as well. Handoff, Marino, left side. He plows over a man. Touchdown! Noshan, left side. He got into the end zone. What a performance by the redshirt freshman from New Jersey. And this time he doesn't run to the sideline, but a well-deserved walk.
A well-deserved walk is right. I see you, Noshan. Just a punishing run right there to get into the end zone. All game long he's been doing it. And that's the first time I've seen him walk off the field all season long, and it is well-deserved.
Florida's got do they have a man injured? They call a timeout. Or are they, I think they're reviewing the play, actually. The play is being reviewed, and, some of the Gator fans are actually starting to head to the gates. We haven't seen a whole lot of that here in Jacksonville over the last 17 years. But we're seeing it today as a lot of the people in blue and orange are starting to head for the parking lot.
And they are going in droves right now, aren't they? It is good to see them walking out of the stadium, streaming out of the stadium.
Noshan Marino would not be denied as they are trying to see if he broke the plane before his knee hit the ground. So they're reviewing it. He runs over the left tackle. And Marino made contact with Dustin Doe, the linebacker, who was a little bit too low for his liking because Noshan pushed him back when contact was made and kept driving toward the goal line. Again, the play is being reviewed. If the play stands, it's 41-30 with 3 minutes and 54 seconds to play in the game.
I'm really surprised they're taking this long to make this call. It looks like it's a clear touchdown when you look at it on the video.
Penn Wagers, the referee, waiting on a decision from our replay official. We're just down the hall from us.
Ruling on the field stands.
That would be a touchdown. And that would be, is that the third or fourth for Marino tonight? Is that his third?
That's number 3 for Noshan.
Holy smokes. Marino with back-to-back 100-yard rushing performances as well. First back to do that since Thomas Brown did it in 2004. And before the extra point can be made, the officials blow the whistle and will stop the clock once again. And a substitution infraction on Florida is the call as the flag was dropped in the end zone. They're asking Brandon Kocho what he wants to do. He looks to the sidelines. And we'll see what they want to do. Coaches are out on the field down to the 30-yard line.
12 men on the defense. The penalty decline. Try down.
So Brandon Kocho will try to make it a 42-30 game with the point after attempt. Noshan Marino, 178 yards on 30 carries. Point after attempt as the flashbulbs flash is good. Kocho remains perfect. Dogs lead by 12 with 3:54 to go. Let's send it down to the sidelines and Lauren Smith. Lauren?
Well, you haven't seen Keelan Johnson in there for a while. He has a knee injury. It doesn't look real serious. I don't know why they're holding him out because he's from Florida, and I'm sure he'd like to play, but you always want the safety of the player to come first. The sideline erupted there when Marino went down and got into position and then scored. That was a wonderful drive, and it's electrified this sideline.
12-point lead on the Gators to 42 points scored by Georgia, the most allowed by Florida this season. Kentucky put 37 on them last week, and then the Dogs with a powerful rushing game and some huge plays. Muhammad Massaquoi with an 84-yard touchdown catch. Mikey Henderson, a 53-yard touchdown catch. I mean, the Dogs have had some big plays. Florida has 2, but the Dogs have had more, and they've had a strong rushing game, almost rushing for 200 yards tonight as a team.
Well, they've really done a good job controlling the football all game long. They've held the ball for 30 minutes already tonight. We still have just under 4 minutes to play in the game. What's really impressive, 9 out of 12 on third down. When you do that, you're going to put yourself in positions to win football games, and that's where we see ourselves tonight.
I tell you, it may have all started with that rush from the sidelines after the first score when the entire bench emptied onto the field and celebrated after Georgia's first touchdown, which drew a penalty, and there happened to be 2 on that play. But that just jazzed up this place like we've never seen before.
Well, it really did. And, you know, when you look back, 15 of the last 17 we've lost here, you had to do something to say, you know what, we're here, and we're going to come fight you all game long. And when we scored that touchdown and the entire team emptied onto the bench, you kind of knew something was a little bit different about what was going to go on here today.
Hey, Georgia and Auburn are just around the corner, but the tickets are sold out. But we can still get you tickets to the game in Athens. Just go to your computer, log on to WSBRadio.com. Look at the column to the left, locate the Bulldogs Radio Network. Click on that for details and how to register. We'll give away the tickets this week. Georgia, Auburn, Georgia Tech. Next week it's going to be Georgia and Troy back in Athens with the voice of the Bulldogs, Larry Munson, back in the hot seat. Brandon Kocho kicks off from the 30, just pooches it high and short, taken at the 31-yard line by Florida. And to avoid any kind of a serious long punt return, the Bulldogs just pooch it up high, a long kickoff return, I should say. And it is taken at the 36, or actually that's where Florida is dropped at the 36-yard line. So Florida will have it 1st and 10 right there. Let's go quickly down to the sidelines in Lauren.
Noshan Marino for Heisman. Noshan Marino for president. I'll vote for him.
He'll get some votes tonight, I tell you what. 178 yards and 3 scores for Noshan Marino. Gators down by 12, 3:52 to go, but they can strike quickly. Shotgun to Tebow, empty backfield. He stands in the pocket. He fires, complete to Ingram in Georgia territory. Spins away from a tackler, gets all the way down to the Georgia 36-yard line. Cornelius Ingram made the catch on Georgia's side of the 50 and got down to the 36 on a little bit of run after the catch. He was open on the far side of the field.
This game is far from over right now. 3 minutes, 42 seconds left on the clock, especially with this Florida offense that is so potent. It can strike from anywhere and strike very quickly. They've shown they can do it tonight. We've got to continue playing with the same kind of enthusiasm we have.
Tebow being pressured, throws it complete to Caldwell, makes a man miss at the 30, across the field to the 25-yard line. Another first down. The clock stops. Marcus Howard bringing down Caldwell, but again, the clock stops at 3:27. The Gators pick up another first down, and in 2 plays, they move from their 34 all the way down to the Georgia 24. Hey, they got quick strike ability. Dogs defense going to have to bring some pressure. Tebow in the shotgun. Florida going from right to left. Tebow with a quarterback draw straight ahead. He is dropped inside the 20 by Rashad Jones at the 19-yard line. And that'll keep the clock moving. That's a good thing at 3:05 and now 3:04 and dipping under 3 minutes to go in the contest with Georgia leading it by 12. Moore in the backfield, standing to the left of Tebow, takes the snap in the shotgun. In the pocket, he looks, he's got time. He throws it to the left side. It is complete to Faison at the 15. He jukes a man and gets down to the 11. Jared Faison is tackled by Thomas Flowers at the 11-yard line. That'll stop the clock. Another first down for the Gators. Clock showing 2:44 left in the contest. Georgia 42 and Florida 30, and the Gators quickly up to the line of scrimmage.
And a good play there by Asher Allen, just holding his ground until the cavalry arrived, because he was one-on-one out there with Faison. Good job there, just keeping him still until his troops got to him.
3 receivers right, 2 to the left, empty backfield. Tebow back and pressure. He avoids the tackle and jumps and throws it out of the back of the end zone. We brought about 5 guys on Tim Tebow, and he just had to heave it out of the back of the end zone to avoid the sack. Dannell Ellerby, one of the guys with the heavy pressure for Georgia.
And we've done it all night long, bringing pressure at opportune times. Anytime they've been in empty sets, we've really done a good job of bringing pressure and hitting Tebow every chance we get.
Rennie Curran also shooting through in there and making Tebow step up in the pocket and throw it before he wanted to, as the clock is stopped after the incompletion. 2:27 to go in the game. The play clock is at 10. The Gators just now breaking out of the huddle. They're going to have to hurry. 2 receivers right, 2 to the left. Now they send a third out to the right side. Tebow in the shotgun. Man in motion. They snap the ball. It's loose. The ball's on the field. A fumble. Georgia has it. Dannell Ellerby has recovered for Georgia at the 16-yard line. I think they may have snapped it before Tebow was ready. The play clock was winding down to 0. They had to hurry. They snapped it too soon, perhaps. Georgia recovers the fumble with 2:23 to play and leading by 12.
What a great play there by Dannell. That's 2 weeks in a row that the Georgia defense comes up with a huge fumble.
Looking at a replay, that snap was horrible. It went well to the right of Tebow. It was almost like it hit something on the center when he snapped it. Tebow couldn't get to it. Ellerby shooting through, recovers the fumble. Georgia has the ball, 2:23 to go. The flashbulbs are popping here at Jacksonville Stadium. Georgia leading it by 12. Will hand it off to Noshawn. Noshawn straight ahead across the 15 up near the 20-yard line. Give Marino 5 more yards as he nears 200 yards on the night. Like to see him get that.
Boy, and he just keeps running hard right now. Right now the Georgia offense wants to take as much time as they can. Florida can stop the clock 2 more times. They've got 2 timeouts.
It'll be 2nd and 5 for the Dogs. Georgia taking their time in the huddle, as Eric said, just letting that clock tick. The play clock's at 15. The game clock's under 2 minutes now. Florida fans scurrying out of here as fast as they can. Under center is Stafford. He's going to hand it off to Marino. Marino, left tackle, stacked up as he crosses the 20 at the 22-yard line. Dustin Doe, the linebacker, with a stop. He's had a truckload of tackles today for the Gators.
Timeout, Florida. 2nd timeout.
That will stop the clock with 94 seconds to go. And Georgia leading by 12, 42-30. 1:34 to go in the ball game. Let's pause for station identification on the Georgia Bulldogs radio network. Matthew Stafford's numbers, Eric, aren't eye-popping, but boy, has he been efficient tonight. 11 of 18 for 217 yards, and he's hit the right touchdown passes. He's hit the right guys when they've been open deep.
Well, he really has. I'll tell you what he's done better tonight than he has all year long, and that's throw the deep ball effectively. He's really done a good job of getting his body into it, setting his feet, making just fantastic throws down the football field. And on the receiving side of it, we've done a good job helping him, really giving him a lot of room, giving him places to put the football, making the catch and executing when we needed to. So didn't have to throw it a whole lot because we've given Noshan the ball 32 times. But when he's thrown it, we've been effective.
Flashes continue to go off here at Jacksonville Stadium as we are under the lights. The handoff to Marino straight ahead up to the 25-yard line. And it's going to be close to a first down. He may have it. Georgia's coach is running down to the first down marker to see. That is Stacy Searles, the offensive line coach, who was standing right on the first down marker to see if they had it. And he may. The clock is stopped with 1:27, and the officials are kind of clearing a path so they can bring on the chains and measure for the first down. Florida has one timeout left. 1:27 remaining on the clock. If the Dogs get the first down here, you can start celebrating.
That's right, and I think we've started celebrating already.
Drink up, Georgia. First down, Bulldogs. 42-30. Georgia leading by 12, 1:27 to go, and the Gators can only stop the clock one more time.
What a great feeling this has got to be for every single guy on that sideline. I know I feel good up here. I've been through a lot of wars on this field that turned out the other way, and seeing these Gators just stream out of this stadium, boy, is awfully nice.
Mark Richt has taken off the headset, so apparently he's done. Georgia goes into the safety formation. 1st and 10 on the 25. Florida crowds the line with 9 players. Stafford takes the snap and a quick touchdown of the left knee. And the flash bulbs continue to go off. I don't know that they're bulbs anymore. Those are probably all camera phones and such. So just the flashes are lighting up the sky here in Jacksonville. The clock ticking at 45 seconds. And Georgia is going to enjoy a 12-point win over the 9th-ranked Florida Gators, who had taken 15 out of the last 17. Did they give Coach Rick the Gatorade bath yet? Keelan Johnson did the job, giving him a hug. Johnson, this is extra special to him, the senior from Daytona Beach, Florida. Stafford takes the final snap. He kneels off and he runs to the sideline. Georgia hugging the coaches. Here come the Bulldogs running onto the field just like they did at the beginning of the ball game after the first score. 9 seconds to go, and Georgia has beaten Florida tonight in Jacksonville. Final score, Bulldogs 42, Florida 30. Dogs win. Dogs win, yes indeed. Some of the players running towards the left end of the field where the band is to celebrate a little bit with those guys. And now coming back to the middle of the field, Mark Richt and Urban Meyer shaking hands as Georgia only trailed one time in this ball game tonight, 17-14, as the Gators got a field goal to go on top. But it was a short lead, and Georgia able to repel any threat that Florida made most of the night.
Well, it was, and they came after him. Florida came after Georgia many, many times tonight and struck quick. But Georgia was able to keep the emotions high through this entire game and really brought the fight to Florida.
And Mark Richt heading towards the far corner of the end zone where he has his arms raised in jubilation and the thumbs up, thanking the band and the crowd that side of the field. Now he's going to run down the far sideline, and he might, before the end of the night, he might shake every Georgia fan's hand in the building.
That's good to see, too. You don't have one Georgia fan that's left the building here tonight. The flash bulbs, as you mentioned, are just going off like crazy. Good to see.
And Mark Richt is hugging the water girl, his wife Catherine, on the far side. This is huge. It's really tough to describe how emotionally huge this victory is for Georgia, but the Bulldogs, they're going to enjoy this one for a while before they start to get ready for Troy next Saturday.
They are, and as you look forward right now, Georgia's in a position to win the SEC East. It's back in their control to some extent, and they have a shot and have an opportunity right now with the team that at the start of the season was too young to even be in position. Now they are.
Mark Richt's hugging everybody inside. He hugged Damon Evans. He hugged David Pollock. Where's Uga? Let's give him a hug, too.
And they're pulling the Georgia players right now up into the stands. They're over there at the band, just going absolutely crazy.
Oh, it's like the Lambeau Leap. We've got about 6 or 7 players standing up on the rail about 10 or 12 feet up above the playing surface right in front of the band. It's party time in Jacksonville tonight as the Dogs beat Florida 42-30. The AT&T call of the game. That's coming up next here on the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network. Scott Howard, Eric Zier, Neil Williamson, Lauren Smith back here at a jubilant Jacksonville Municipal Stadium, at least jubilant for half the fans. And those are the only ones we care about in red and black, as Georgia has beaten Florida tonight 42-30. Time now for the AT&T call of the game. And you got a lot of choices. You want to go back and take some of the big plays, some of the bombs that Georgia scored on tonight. But we're going to go back to the very beginning of the ball game. And after recovering a fumble, Georgia struck first as Noshawn Marino scored the first touchdown of the ball game. But it was really what happened after that set the tone for tonight's Georgia win. Here it is, our AT&T call of the game. They'll stay in the eye. Chappis and Sutherland in the ball game. Chappis goes in motion, hand it to Noshawn. He dives, stretches out, touchdown.
And look at the entire Georgia offense coming off.
That's the whole team.
The whole team is on the field right now.
What the heck is that? That's a flag. What are we doing?
They're throwing a flag, and I don't think anybody cares right now.
Oh, my goodness.
The entire coaching staff is looking right now at the Georgia fans, getting them up on their feet. I have never seen that before.
That is unbelievable. Marino scored, and the entire team ran off the bench and celebrated in the end zone. That's shocking. Georgia set the tone with that play. I was dumbfounded on that. I'd never seen that in my life, as every player, all 70 players, ran off the bench and celebrated in the end zone. And little did we know at the time that would really set the pace for this ball game and jack this crowd up sky high emotionally. And that's the AT&T call of the game.
It really was just a shocking event. Never before have I seen the entire team just flood onto the field after a score. We do it there, and we just played at an emotional level that I haven't seen this Georgia team play at maybe ever. And it took a little while to settle down. We had several unsportsmanlike penalties against us, but just that one play set the tone for the entire game.
Noshawn Marino finishes with a truckload of yards, 188 yards. We'll get to more of that, all the stats and numbers from tonight's game. Don't forget to join Coach Mark Richt and Larry Munson Monday night, 8:06. That'll be a fun show. The AT&T Bulldog Hotline. That's coming up Monday here on the Bulldogs Radio Network. And plenty more of the post-game show coming up with, we're going to hang around a while and enjoy this. Hondo is next, and Eric and I will be back along with Lauren in the locker room, and we'll talk with Coach Mark Richt. All of that to come just around the corner here as we roll along from Jacksonville. Georgia a winner, 42-30. Timeout now. Back in a moment on the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network.
Well, beyond the earth, beyond all things that gave us birth, we'll navigate the seas of the sun. If God is throwing dice and Einstein doesn't mind the chance, we'll navigate the seas of the sun. Infinity runs deep, eternity that we can keep. We'll navigate
quick throw. Mitchell makes the catch. He breaks away. 30, 25, 20. Veers inside. 10 breaks the tackle. 5 breaks another one. Touchdown!